is coming to terrorize the company with the aim of...
Main function of the union is to advocate for the workers' welfare. And one of these functions, it is through fair and procedural promotions. Yes.
Na habari za kusikitisha ni kwamba mamlaka za uchunguzi katika kaunti ya Garissa zinafanya uchunguzi kuhusu tukio la kushtua ambapo mwanamke mwenye umri wa miaka 28 kutoka kijiji cha Bula Medina, kaunti ya Garissa, anadai alishambuliwa na genge la wanaume wasiojulikana waliovamia nyumba yake mwishoni mwa wiki majira ya saa 8 usiku. Kwa mujibu wa maelezo yake, washambuliaji hao walilazimisha kuingia ndani ya nyumba, wakamtoa kwa nguvu akiwa mbele ya mumewe, kisha wakamchukua kwa pikipiki hadi kwenye kichaka kilicho karibu ambako tukio hilo lilitokea. Kamanda wa polisi wa kaunti ya Garissa, Samson Chelugo, amethibitisha kuwa washukiwa 5 tayari wamekamatwa kuhusiana na tukio hilo na wanatarajiwa kufikishwa mahakamani wakati uchunguzi ukiendelea.
Unifuruta kunitoa kwa mzee yangu na kuondoka na mimi. Wakati walienda na mimi, walinichapa rungu, wakanichapa na panga, wakanidunga visu na wakaniamrisha nipande kwa boda. Wakati nilipanda kwa boda, walinipeleka msitu kubwa sana. Wakati tulifika huko, walikanyanga chini na kuniamrisha na mimi nikanyanga chini na kunitoa nguo. Wakati walinitoa nguo, walinitumia wote na alafu wakaanza kupigana waniue. Lakini Mungu akakataa na mimi. Sasa mimi naomba usaidizi, naomba haki yangu.
Tena wametukujia usiku kitu saa 8 usiku. Wametuchapa. Nilikuwa nimelala nje, wamenifunja mkono. Mguu wamenidunga na kisu. Tulikuwa na madam wamejaribu walikuwa wataka mrefu, wamemchapa na mapanga. Wakajaribu kumpepa wakashindwa. Wakaingia kwa jirani. Wakapepa madam ya jirani yangu, wakaenda naye.
Wacha tusikie watu wamefungwa. Na watu waache mambo ya kusema tutafanya masiraha. Hii hatutafanya masiraha. I can assure you. Beyond and I believe in reasonable doubt. There is no iota of doubt ya kwamba itafanywa masiraha. Watu waende kotini, wafungwe, watu waheshimiane. Manda, rape na robbery with violence. Iso as a community we are not ready to accept.
Officers went to the scene and managed to arrest 5 suspects, which are already in custody. The 5 suspects will be arraigned in court on Monday. The victim, who is a lady, was taken to Garissa Referral Hospital. She was treated and she is recovering in stable condition.
Na pia sisi hapa tunaomba haki itendeke kwake. Na mtazamaji, kufikia hapo ninatamatisha taarifa zetu za saa 1 jioni. Ninakutakia usiku mwema. Jina langu ni Dahira Ahmed.
Business news on Radio Generation.
Good evening, I am Dahira Ahmed. APA Apollo Group has posted a 43% rise in the net profit to 2.8 billion shillings for the year ending December 2025, boosted by higher insurance revenue and improved efficiency. Insurance revenue rose 14% to 24.6 billion shillings, with strong performance in Kenya and Uganda pushing general insurance profit before tax up 23% to 1.32 billion shillings. And COMESA Competition and Consumer Commission has issued a consumer alert over safety risks linked to recalled vehicle models from Ford Motor Company and Toyota Motor Corporation across the region. The regulator warned that some of the recalled vehicles originally flagged in South Africa may have entered the 21-member common market, posing potential safety risks to motorists and dealers. It urged consumers to exercise caution when purchasing the affected models, citing possible dangers associated with the recalls. And that's all we have for our business news. For more business updates, go on to radiogeneration.co.ke. Good evening, I am Dahira Ahmed.
That's the business on Radio Generation. This week, power was tested in the corridors of leadership, economies shook under pressure, and the voices of ordinary citizens demanded to be heard. From breaking decisions in high office to protests in the streets, from moments of triumph to tragedies that stopped us in our tracks, these are the headlines that shaped our week. And beyond the noise, we search for what really matters: the connections, the context, the stories behind the stories. And this is your weekly news roundup on Radio Generation, where every headline has a heartbeat and every moment counts. The views and opinions expressed on this program are those of the guests and do not necessarily reflect the views of Radio Generation. Radio Generation assumes no responsibility or liability for the interviewee's views. This is Radio Generation.
Yes, indeed, this is Radio Generation, the Generation Report. My name is Mungala Muvina kama kawaida. In the studio, I do have two individuals who are going to help me have this conversation in this particular hour. I'm talking about none other than Hanifa. How are you doing, Hanifa? Good morning. Good evening. Hiyo mtaniwia radhi. Ndasemanga good morning mpaka ile siku ndazoea. But good evening.
Good evening.
Uko salama?
Salama. How are you?
Mimi niko salama sana. This is Monday number 4. How does it feel like?
It's good. A fresh week. We are hoping for the best.
Ushazoea kitu sasa, si ndio?
Ushazoea.
It's like riding a bike. So ninaweza toka nikuachie show sasa, si ndio? Alright, see you guys. Abdi Samad Loge. Good evening.
Good evening to
you. You're well?
I'm well.
Mimi niko salama pia. Mimi niko poa.
Kwa salama kabisa. Niko fiti kabisa. It has been well.
Right. How was your weekend? Apart from just it is okay. Like, did you go anywhere? Did you buy something?
No.
Did you meet anyone?
No, it's end of the month.
Did you meet?
You can simply guess.
Did you
stay in the house for the whole weekend? Yeah.
Watching Gor,
Gor Mahia. By the way, walicheza game poa sana. Walitandika AFC. So did you meet goons?
No, I have never met goons. I usually hear these goons. But one day, I hope that I will see how they operate and see, just witness how they usually operate. But I don't want them to wait to assault.
Do you want to meet goons?
I want to see actual experience because experience.
I met one and it's not something to fantasize about. Oh my days!
No, but it is good that you actually experience how they operate.
Yes.
But whenever I see their squares in a place, I usually hide. So I don't know which day will I going to meet them.
But assuming you meet them today, what would you tell them?
Wapiga.
No. Nitatoroka tu. Nikiona I will watch them from a pillar of window.
So you should not fantasize about meeting them.
No. I don't. I love my life so much.
Yeah. But I don't think they'll do anything to you. They'll probably just rough you up kidogo. Uwapatie simu yako, uwapatie zile coins kidogo kunazo kwa mfuko, watakuacha tu. Wananga story mingi ya watu.
Goons. I usually hear about them.
Yeah.
But what comes to my mind is when I hear about goons is ile story ya kuibiwa simu. Ushawaibiwa simu wewe?
Hapana. Sijaibiwa simu.
Mimi sijaibiwa simu, lakini kuna siku nilikuwa nalala kwa nyumba. Nimeacha simu yangu kando. It was my first experience in Nairobi. Na jamaa mwingine ameingia akachukua. He was my neighbor actually. He was a drug addict.
Ala.
But the fact that I didn't had that much so sure about that is the one who took. Then aliniambia si yeye alichukua hiyo nini
simu, but ulijua tu ni yeye.
But kwa reality nilikuwa najua ni yeye tu alichukua.
So you are accusing this person without evidence?
You
circumstantial evidence.
Aliland tu hivi kutoka tu Northeastern simu kaenda
karibu Kanairo.
Kanairo is a university.
Yeah, you have to you will learn a lot. You were just telling me that you were reminded of something that happened a couple of weeks ago.
And that takes us to our new episode of the things that you have probably forgotten about as a Kenyan. I want to talk about another devastating case. I don't know if you remember the Kericho mass grave. It's just recent.
Yes. The one that happened in last week, like 3 weeks ago.
Yes. So the DCI homicide detectives exhumed 33 bodies and 6 body parts from a mass grave at Makaburini Cemetery in Kericho.
Right.
So while a court order authorized Nyamira County Referral Hospital to dispose of 13 unclaimed bodies, investigators found additional 20 undocumented remains buried in secret.
Yeah.
The forensic breakdown found that 25 of the bodies were children. Here we are again showing how our children's lives are disposable. How we keep ignoring this over and over again. So 25 bodies were children and 8 adults. They were found stuffed into agani bags and buried under the cover of a rainstorm in March 20th, just recently. Sasa, the pathologist confirmed that 5 of the adults suffered blunt force trauma to the head.
Yes.
So that rules out natural causes. Nyamira governor said that he distanced his administration from the 20 extra bodies. Akasema, hiyo si ya county. County only claims they released 13 bodies. So hawa nasema hiyo ingine hawajui imetoka wapi na ni ya nani. So officials, we had officials, 3 officials, a chief morticians, a public health officer, and a cemetery caretaker were arraigned in court last Thursday.
Okay.
Sasa how? They were facing charges for the illegal disposal of bodies without valid permits and the alleged diversion of 32,000 Kenyan shilling service fee to a private attendant. Sasa, the DCI is now working to identify the 20 unexplained victims and determine if this was a systematic cover-up.
Right.
Or of extrajudicial killings or a gross administrative negligence. So the case returns to court for pre-trial on June 8th.
Okay, so we more or less a month to go.
Yes.
A month and a week perhaps. Yeah. I mean, I remember reading that story, and initially kakatuni kama, okay, these guys were brought in by this government vehicles, it was a parastatal vehicle, and then they were dumped there. And we thought maybe Tuni, someone who's just someone who has got these prying eyes, putting their nose where it doesn't belong. But then again, now stories after that kept on emerging and emerging. But me, what pains me is the folks that are supposed to give us answers, other than the DCI, of course, they're telling us they're doing investigations. Kuna watu specific wanafaa kutuambia, because hizo mwili hazikujitoa mahali na hazikujipeleka mahali. People died first of all. Then they were removed from somewhere and they were dumped in that particular place.
Yes.
It's been a couple of weeks now. I think it's been a month. And the story still is komsi komsa.
Yes.
It's really not a full story.
25 children. My biggest concern is that 25 children.
Yes.
Wameuliwa aje? Wamezikwa aje? What did they do to the children? I don't even want to imagine what happened. Honestly, we need to care more about our children in this country.
Hapo ndio tunasema tunangojea the full report, especially from DCI. What do you think, Loge, before we move on?
So about the story,
the mass grave.
It's not a new thing in Kenya. This thing keeps on happening day and night. When you find out that something happened, and it's been exposed, there are so many things that have not been exposed yet.
Yeah.
But kwa background ziko mingi kabisa. So the DCI is known for brilliant conduction of how it usually conduct those kind of investigations.
Really?
So if they decide to capture someone, those criminals, in a matter of seconds they can.
Yes.
So when you see that the DCI are not doing their own job, you can really sense that there is something that they know but they don't want to reveal about.
Yes, mkono serikali ni refu wakitaka.
Well, we'll be talking more about this violent attacks and deaths in a couple of minutes. As we get to the next story, Salam zimfikie Morris and Dati ameuliza, wait, there's an evening show ama I'm confused. Well, Morris and Dati, you're not confused. We are live. The show is called Generation Report. All right, and I'm hosting it with Hanifa Adan and Abdi Samad Loge. Now kutakuwa na guests later on, so usiende mbali. So you're not confused, you're not dreaming, you have not stumbled upon a show from the morning. This is actually live. Okay, now the first story takes us to Russia again. We have been having these conversations about Russia for a while now, Hanifa.
Yes.
Right? You remember that time ilisemekana Wakenya wanaenda toka shanga, Wakenya wanaenda aje? So initially we thought Kenyans have been abducted and taken to Russia by force. Or they're being duped, taken to Russia by force. And then they find themselves in a war.
They're captured in Ukraine,
Watu tulikuwa tunadhani maybe wanaenda huko wanaambiwa wanaenda kukua sweepers, hotel, water attendants, hospitality. Now, two things emerged from this, that there are some people honestly who were duped rather. wanajuanga.
Yes.
They were told kuja unaenda kusoma. Only for them kufika hapo wanambua before uingie university shika igan endo pigana na watu huko kwa msitu. Lakini kuna wengine waliambiwa vizuri sana na walikuwa wanajua. Mtu akatoka hapa Kenya akijua vizuri sana anaenda Russia aingie kwa vita ya Russia na Ukraine. Those are the two categories of people that I know. For me, this is what I am saying. Initially, I was blaming Gava. To be honest, I was on government saying this and that and a lot of things until I sat with PS Njogu here. PS Njogu ni wa Diaspora Affairs. Kuna maswali mawili matatu tulimuuliza. And what came out clearly is, number one, there are those who by mistake found themselves in the war. But kuna wengine wanajipeleka huko. And not just in Russia. There are Kenyans in Myanmar when they're being used as they were sold into slavery, where they are working chalazima, their passports were taken away. There are some students in India who are sex slaves. Some of them have overstayed their visa, so they are finding unscrupulous ways of surviving in India. So nikakuja kujua wa Kenya wanakuanga watu very tricky na pia very dishonest. So history ingine ya Russia before tucheze video. What are your thoughts, Hanifa?
No, just responding to what you're saying. I think majority of people walidanganywa. They were lied to. Na wakajipata found themselves as prisoners of wars in Ukraine.
Yes.
You're saying that Kenyans might be tricky, that they know what they're doing. Even so, even so, that ministry exists for that purpose. You saw how Ghanaian foreign ministry came out.
Yes,
all
actually
out
even the
for
president.
their citizens.
Yes,
even the
Mahama
president came out akasema they defended their citizens
in South Africa.
Who are suffering xenophobic attacks in South Africa.
Yes.
That is how it should be. I wrote an article on I just tell you the title because who do Kenyans call when they are suffering out there?
Right.
Because their ministry, hawa tu wote, they don't respond. It doesn't matter. You know, when Kenyans find themselves in trouble out there, it is their duty, the duty bearers, they must come out for them. They must protect Kenyans. When you wanasuffer huku nje, it is their duty, it is their work.
Like in the case of Myanmar, is it Myanmar? I think it's Myanmar. Tuliuliza PS Njogu like, hey bana, what's not happening? Kasema that sometimes they reach out to these Kenyans in those hardship areas, kina India, kina Myanmar, hata Saudi.
Even Saudi, they keep crying and crying with no help whatsoever.
Wanawambia get ready. On today's Monday, so Tuesday tomorrow we are taking you out. Kuna wenye watakuja waseme thank you serikali saidia imesaidia. Lakini kuna wengine loge wanasema ngoja kidogo nione. I think things might be looking up. Kuna tumesikia by Friday mambo yanaweza badilika. And I was like, what on earth is going on? So kuna Wakenya by the way wanakuanga hivyo, but anyway, can we play the video, Loge?
Yeah,
let's play the video.
I have not been in the army. I have really had a difficult time. I was struggling back at home. And so the job opportunity came. What I know is just whatever salary they promised. So way later, people responded of a job. The message went through like news. So it is a friend, tell a friend. And so that's the way the information got to me. There was an agency that offered that process. That you can join the Russian army, you don't need to pay anything, they will cater for everything, even the air ticket and everything to come all the way. So we came in, we were picked, filled the contract, promised that you won't go to anything about war, you will do something to do with your profession. I'm a computer science engineer, so more understands of gadgets, the systems, because I have installed in terms of CCTV, radio stations and stuff. Those are the things that I used to work with.
All right, so that is a Kenyan. I think tumeona anaitwa Joseph Kabugi. Hey, Abdi, what do you have to say about our brother Kabugi?
There's something that comes into my mind when I hear about this story of Kenya, Russia that does not end, and it keeps on repeating itself. This is a problem that usually happens across the world because the illegal smuggling, the illegal trafficking is actually a thing that exists. But this, the kind of this war, Kenyans, vulnerable Kenyans been recruited into Russian war, is a big thing. And I am in love with the quote by Nelson Mandela when he said that a nation is not judged by how it treats its highest citizens, but its lowest ones. So when this happens, vulnerable Kenyans who are poor, most of them, because poverty is a bad thing, and you know, as long as you are poor, anyone can come to you and do to you anything that he wills like. So that shows you that these people who are very poor have been taken, traveled into Russia, and find themselves stranded in a foreign war.
Yeah,
you can simply imagine that kind of situation. So does this mean that the government does not know anything about the Russian Kenyans?
I think they know.
The government, they know.
They know.
From the start.
Yeah.
There is process for everything. Before you are recruited there, you need to have passport. You need to have those kind of visas. And if today I want to go to Russia, it's not easy for me to go to Russia if I'm not helped by those people who want to use me as commodities.
Yeah.
So the government knows this thing, but it does not actually it is blinding itself from the reality.
You know, some of this, like what you've said about the passport, you know, getting a passport right nowadays is quite easy as long as you have paid the requisite amount.
Okay.
So you now apply to
the visa.
Now for the visa, the moment you have acquired your passport, now you know the visa is between you and the country that you're going to travel to. Yeah.
And imagine this, that you are a poor person.
Yeah.
You don't have that much money to pay for the visa.
These guys are paying for everything.
So these guys are paying for everything. Who are these guys then?
The Russians.
So the government knows.
Yeah, the recruiters.
You see, the question we should be asking, like he's saying, who are these rogue state officials?
Who are involved?
What is the legal framework? Kwa nini wanachwa tu hivyo?
So kunao state officers.
Kuna hawa state officials. Yes.
Lakini pia venye unafika huko Russia, mimi nafikiria hapo kuna Kiswahili ama Kizungu yenye atuambii vizuri.
Yeah.
Sababu kuna watu inasemekana so Paul Mungala Mbuvi is going to Russia because I have studied medicine. I am going to Russia as a doctor. So they will ensure that everything of mine is expedited, movie anaenda. So visa,
it's internal accountability.
Visa haraka nitapatiwa na Russia. Then chances are Russia imeniambia ukweli that movie you are not going to treat people, you are actually going to the war. But tunaandika hapa umeenda kama daktari, ndio hizi maswali mingi zisikue. Unaget? Let's not forget there are some rogue agencies that are recruiting people. So me, I'm a rogue agent and I'm recruiting you, Anifa. I just come and tell you, cheki, wacha tuandike hapa hivi unaenda kama daktari, but in reality ama nurse ama mwalimu, but in reality wewe unaenda kwa vita, sawa? Kuna watu wanaenda na hizo nini?
Nimeelewa kabisa.
Yes.
So there is two ways in which these people have been recruited. One, it's from their will. The second is the government is involved in.
Yeah.
Because let me not say the government, but state officials from the government. Because you cannot go against your will. No one can be able to come to you without luring you with money and telling you that you need to go to that place. No, it feels like this thing is complicated thing.
Right.
And there's something that is hidden from the public. And the fact that the government has the responsibility to protect, and it also raises the questions about the accountability, the protection, and the national dignity of this country.
You know,
so you cannot recruit someone, an individual, a citizen of a certain country, put it into a war that is not even involved in anywhere.
You know, I saw the can I call it a documentary? Let's call it a news item that Citizen did.
Yeah, that's what
I saw Kenyans hapo chini kwa comment section wakisema mimi nataka kwende Russia. Where do I sign up? Ndio maana hii kitu ya Russia is not going to end anytime soon, guys.
It's not going to.
It's not going to end anytime soon.
Once you are poor, poverty is a bad thing, as I told you.
Yes.
So these people, the citizens of these countries, most of them want to go out of this country.
Yes.
By all means. So you find that these people have been told that there is education opportunities.
So the government has romanticized that.
Yeah. So
the jobs abroad, quote, quote, quote. We have jobs abroad for you.
So jobs abroad is what's actually driving these people.
But let's be honest also, you know, there are some legitimate jobs out there. Yes. We have jobs in China. All right, because I have friends in China who've left this country and they're working there. Before this whole Ukraine-Russia war, I had friends who went to study and were working in Russia and many other places, the US, the UK, Germany, India. So kuna majobs nje. Of course kuna pia some fake jobs out there.
Done.
That is now what we should be scrutinizing.
And that's other thing that can come across.
What length? So and it's okay, I wanted to add, by the, you know what's funnier? Mudavadi met with the foreign minister of Russia and they agreed
no more recruiting.
To stop recruiting Kenyans to war.
Yeah.
But intelligence says we have over 1,000 Kenyans still at it. And what does that even tell you?
And that is why, Hanif, I'm telling you, this thing is not ending anytime soon. It's not. Why?
It's not
because the number of Kenyans willing to die there than stay hungry here, too many. And also the reality on the ground is this: Russia needs fighters. Ukraine needs fighters. Ukraine actually is, and I was watching this on CNN, I think, over the weekend. Ukraine is now actually recruiting, recruiting Colombian fighters into
Why
that.
don't they recruit their own people?
They recruit from all countries.
Sasa imefika mahali.
Kwani are our lives lesser than
no, that's what they actually think, because they won't use you. They won't use you as a block.
Poverty, the state failure that they are banking on.
Yes,
they are recruiting fighters at the expense of a country's looming unemployment crisis.
Yes, now they will not recruit their own until they have exhausted other options out here, because they also don't want their young population to die.
Yeah, it shows how they love their country.
The government's mandate comes in then, because you need to you look at the neighboring countries like Ethiopia. Do you find such a situation where Ethiopians have been stranded in Russia?
I've not heard of anything.
So I have not heard.
I wouldn't lie.
Yeah, so
why is it Kenya?
So why is it Kenya?
Why?
You know, these people, these countries, European countries and those in abroad, usually target lesser vulnerable communities, lesser countries that cannot speak for itself, that cannot advocate for its citizens. They take that opportunity and hit it at the right time. So that's what they're actually doing. They are taking these people to fight in a war that does not even involve them.
Do you know who else is actually living from Kenya to Russia, apart from these folks that we think are poor? Well, a majority of Kenyans are poor anyway, regardless of what they are doing. What were GSU? There are people who are taking time off, like you take leave from the GSU. And this is what I'm saying, because I saw, I don't know if you saw the same news item I saw. They are taking, unachukua like leave ya mwaka mzima, uende ukafight Ukraine, because ile mshahara unalipwa hapa huko unalipwa 1 month, ni almost 2 years hapa Kenya.
So, I don't know how to explain it, but that makes sense. Unaona mtu kama Joseph maskini, hawa wanakuwa duped, wanaenda huko, and then 3 weeks training. You're given a gun to go to the front lines. You don't know anything.
You don't care about if you die.
You have no idea. GSU officer knows.
amechapa watu kutaona, ameshoot watu kutaona.
Huyo amepractice enough in Kenya, anajua huyo. You know?
So they are actually targeting some of those guys in the police force, GSU, and people who at least have got some kind of paramilitary training of sorts, because that person is easier already. Kuna level of fear ishatoka, level of humanity ishamuondoka,
and proper training. Proper
so huyu tu ni dakika 2-3 ashajua kushoot.
Yes.
Anyway, that is happening, and I can tell you guys,
no, Kenyans deserve better.
But also something that we sat here with PS Njogu and we asked her, kwani the government can't do anything? Akatuambia, look, we Kenyans have got freedom. You cannot stop a Kenyan from leaving this country. Hata akikwambia hata kwenda Somalia, venye tunasikianga sijui kuna vita wapi huko, akitaka kutoka hapa aseme anaenda Somalia, imagine walisema tuwezi mzuia. Wacha na Somalia, hata huku within our borders mali kuna kwanga na shido kwa kina West Pokot, Suguta Valley, Kapedo. Mkenya kitaka kwenda huko
is agree with the country. Unaona kama yeye anasema ameagree na Russia to stop the recruitment. They have you have a choice to protect Kenyans. Unaona mtoto akililika, mtoto analilia wembe. Let's say that's the case, because mimi kesi nimeona ni Kenyans are being lied to and taken to Russia. If
not
that
all of
tuseme sawa, let's just agree two things. First of all, Kenyans are being lied to and taken to fight wars. Secondly, kuna wenye they are going willingly, let's say sawa. It does not matter, it is their duty. Unajua mtoto akijikata na wembe amejiumiza sana, it's not the time to keep scolding the kids. You namwambia nini? It is your duty as the ministry, as a country, to protect your citizens when they are out there. Alafu akikuja huku ndo uanze kumnini, but it is their duty. They cannot say ati hawana option. They have options. I don't know that agreement between Kenya and Russia is supposed to work, because yes, PCS rather, Mudavadi and his counterpart in Russia agreed that okay, fine, no more Kenyans. The situation now, when a Kenyan gets to Russia and he says, guys, give me that gun, and Russia sees they need 20,000 troops in the front line, and yes, there's a willing buyer, willing seller. So they don't honor the diplomatic agreement. Ati watasema no. Na kuna Mkenya anasema mnanipatia how much? No, forget hizi stories za Kenya government. Sijui Mudavadi alikuja hapa kuongea how much. Anaambiwa 1 million when you actually in this case ni 1.5 million when you sign up, and then roughly 300,000 every month. Unaona mtu hapa amekuwa akiuza mahindi. Mahali anapatanga sijui 2,000 mwisho wa wiki. When it is a good week. Ama mtu wa mayai. Mtu atachukua bunduki haraka sana. So that leaves us with the question.
That shortcut. Once they hear that movie.
Not even shortcut, imagine.
Movie alipata, alienda alijoin Russian forces. Now he's earning that kind of amount.
300,000.
So they tell themselves, no, they spread the word.
Right.
Among themselves.
Yes.
They tell that Mbuvi has gotten that kind of money, large amount of money. In a matter of few years he will be a billionaire. So how do you see it if you go? So man, are you trying to join? Yeah, we can. So they will actually themselves from their willing.
Wanajiuza.
So
what
that's
does
also
it tell you
from
about the country? If I'm willing to go die in a war in a foreign country because I'm running away from poverty, from state failure,
the government
from unemployment,
then should, as long as they know that these Kenyans are ending up in a foreign war that is unsafe for them, they should protect.
Yes.
If they know that it is unsafe.
Totally.
I was thinking stories about the floods in Mombasa and Kwale. I saw a video that one of our colleagues sent. I don't know if you guys saw that video sent by Husam. Bwana, ile mahali panaitwa Mombasa kuna flood. Kuna flood properly. Now, we need to remind ourselves that there's something called global warming, as much as a lot of people in the West are denying it. And I can promise you, the ocean levels are rising. And they are rising to some very dangerous levels. What we do going forward, and even with the Sakaja situation here, we are angry with Sakaja for one reason and one reason alone, because he doesn't seem to care. But the truth is, the climate has changed.
The climate has changed. It is true, because
and I want to disagree. Yes.
No, I'm not excusing our county governments for not doing what, because
but
they can actually do it.
The urban planning experts have kept calling, even Mombasa Bay. I saw a report by Nation, like the urban planning, the drainage again.
Right.
Someone joked that Nairobi drainage system ni evaporation. Same case with Mombasa, evaporation. Shoo, they expect, and it is true,
Yeah.
urban planning too.
Right.
Anyway, experts have come out to say it over and over. Yes, there's global warming. Floods, nini, they can't withhold all the water, blah, blah, blah. But until when? Until when? So utalialia disku gani? Ni kama watu wa Northeastern. When people die of hunger, they keep saying ni famine, ni mambo ya Mungu, nini. Until when? So people are going to die.
Yeah, no, they need to do something about it for sure.
Yes, the same case with floods.
There's a movie on Netflix. If you get Log, you wanna watching a movie?
I don't watch movies.
Typical guy.
I've never watched the movies. Imagine.
Really? What do you mean?
Somali men don't watch movies.
I don't know. Unajua, are you married?
They do. No, I'm not married.
Ungekuwa married, I would have used that excuse on you.
I want to recommend a movie. You guys, when you get time, go and watch it. It is called Thrash. It's currently on Netflix. It is the short story is that there's a flood that happened in some state in the US. I'm forgetting the name, but it was a very huge typhoon. Sijui ni tuite hizo macyclones zao anakuanga nazo tu. It was a hurricane of sorts, and it literally brought the water onto the land, and the water came very far inside into the land that sharks started swimming inside that water. Yeah. And I am seeing something similar here. Well, of course, here we don't have sharks that came swimming into the land of Kwale and Mombasa. But this reminds me of that particular movie. The rain devastation we are currently watching in Mombasa County and Kwale County. It's
really bad. Yeah.
We need to learn from countries that have been able to take care of the flooding situation. There's a country called Netherlands. You know, Netherlands was literally reclaimed from the ocean. Those guys, hii tunaitanga Hague, Netherlands. That entire country was literally underwater at one point. They just reclaimed it kilometer by kilometer, and now it is the country that it is. Those guys are very good in water engineering. They know how to mitigate floods. Why we have never gone there to find out how they do it is beyond me.
Yeah, we are going to Dubai and saying Dubai is also flooding.
Tunaenda kwa desert.
Yeah, Dubai is flooding. Dubai is also flooding, you know. We don't want to go where solutions are. We una complain and Dubai is flooding. Who are you to complain?
Dubai.
About
why are you
flooding.
complaining?
There are agencies like Red Cross who usually steps in when drought,
famine, and
this disaster, national disasters like floods come in. This are the agency is one of the agencies that actually need to be given
resources
for what the brilliant work they do every now and then. Most of the time we usually forget about them because I have seen them, they are the first respondent to all these kind of calamities.
So Red Cross, we appreciate you.
So we need to appreciate them because most of the time whenever disaster happens like this, Red Cross is there. People don't notice most of the time. But these agencies needs that kind of support, that kind of stand for the government to stand with them. Yeah, so
and they're, like you've said, they're doing quite a good job, and they'll definitely need a little bit more support than what they are currently getting. Because
how many people did they say were displaced in Mombasa? I think over 100 people were displaced.
Okay,
households.
They're the ones who are
unfortunately
were so they are the ones who are evacuating them. They're the ones who are helping them when it comes to those kind of displacement. Because whenever floods come, these people need to be evacuated to safer grounds. Whenever drought comes, in Northeastern, when I went to Northeastern to cover a certain story about the drought, they were there for the people. They were actually providing health facilities, health services.
Even in 2024, the terrible floods zenye zilikuwa the Red Cross by the walikuwa front line.
No, Red Cross wanakuanga hapo 24/7. All right, our third story is on the spate of killings. Now, Garissa woman rep has condemned that situation. Township MPs, of course, came through. Remember, there was also that other issue that happened in Kitui over the weekend. I don't know if you guys saw it. Kuna watu 7 wamepoteza maisha yao. I think it happened on Saturday night. Some folks were just murdered. But anyway, before we discuss about it, just listen to this and of course watch the video.
India hii serikali tukisema tu na nyinyi mnamaliza watoto wetu. Kama huo chalo huyo officer mwenye ameua huo mtoto haleti within 24 hours. Hapa Garissa hakutakalika. They must produce. Hapa kwa amari huwezi pewa bila kusainiwa. Tunajua who issued that gun yenye imetumika kuua huyo mtoto. Tunajua work tickets na wakingi. Kama huyo chalo alitolewa Garissa, tunajua kuna system. Garissa kuna bridge hapa na kuna Modika. Which way did chalo go? Na chalo kama maofficers wenu hapa wako na mental issues, mbona wapatiwe bunduki na wanalinda wananchi? Kwa hivyo tunasema hii incident ya kwanza, kuna kijana amekufa tu within this year, ni mtoto wa 3 ameuliwa hapa. Mimi kama mama na niko na watoto rika ya mtoto ameuliwa sasa, sitakubali hiyo kitu ifanyike. And next time we will defend ourselves. Polisi akiua make sure tumemchapa hata yeye.
Sijui kama mmesikia kile mheshimiwa amesema, polisi akiua tutamchapa hata yeye. Over to you, Hanifa. What do you make of this?
Honestly, youths have been abducted, killed. Every single week we have news of people dying, wanauliwa, extrajudicial killings in Garissa. And honestly, we are tired of the excuses. Adan Mohammed, the recent victim, alikuwa tu ameenda kuambia afisa asipigane na rafiki yake. They were fighting over a bribe. The chalo officer, he wanted to take a bribe from his friend. So he came in to solve the dispute and he was mercilessly shot down and killed. You see how easy it is for them to take people's lives. It really baffles me how disposable our lives have become. Police tu trigger happy police anatoa bunduki and he can end it all, end someone's dream, someone's family's dream, and someone's future. It's not fair, honestly. It's not fair. And they keep saying, oh, he's at large, but atapatikana. Listen, mkono serikali ni refu ikikutaka. There's no way they're saying they can't locate where or trace where he is. It points to internal accountability. You guys have everything. You can trace people wherever you want. Yani, you have the ability. If you wanted to arrest one of you that killed someone, of course you can. It's very easy, I think. So they should stop with the excuses and arrest the killer cop.
Yeah. Do you know there's a time niliona a video that did round some very many years ago. Like I think it was probably 10 if not more. There was some commotion along Jogoo Road. Kumbe kulikuwa na wezi walikuwa wameingia into some apartment buildings. So the police came. I think these guys had they either had guns or what, I can't remember. But the cops came, then there was some kind of exchange. Then eventually wale wase wakafanya nini? Waka give up, wakaambiwa kujeni hapa chini. Wakateremka chini because walikuanga maybe around 4th floor, 5th floor thereabout. So they came down. Those guys walilalishwa chini bwana. Walimalizwa there and then. Mira nilikuwa nadhani I thought they would just be handcuffed. Sikumbuki it maybe.
Was it the Rashid one?
No, it wasn't Rashid. Okay. This one was another one. Bwana, these guys walikuwa wawili. Mmoja kwanza aliekelewa tu chini akaangushwa. Huyo mwingine akaanza kuplead na afande. Ati afande hapana. Nipeleke hata tuende ndani. Akasema hata nitakubali wote. Hata ndakuonyesha mali vitu ziko. Huyo kana akamwambia my friend, you're wasting my time. It was very early in the morning. Akamwambia you're wasting my time. Can you lala venye nimekuambia? So eventually this guy after pleading and crying, akamalizwa. I watched that video and I asked myself, kuna kwanga na watu heartless hii dunia. I mean, fine, given these guys walikuwa wamefanya kinyo wamefanya and it looks like the cops knew them from before. Hata alikuwa anamuita kwa jina.
They might have done several.
Hata alikuwa anamuita kwa jina
with the bad nini.
And I think the fact that walikuwa wame exchange bullets, risasi, fire, exactly, thank you. Walikuwa wame exchange fire, these cops were like, so you wanted to kill me? Right? It's just that you ran out of bullets.
But if ego, the ego can't allow them to be.
But if you still had bullets, chances are I'm the one who would be dead right now. Bono alimalizo mse. Watu.
Actually. So about the killing that's happening in the country.
Even in Kilifi, sorry, we forgot to mention that the police killed Lucky It's called Lucky
Odhiambo.
Yes, in Kilifi.
In Kilifi, in police custody.
Yeah, and they keep killing people in police custody. I'm so tired of these people, Aki.
So, I wanted to raise a question about the police killings in the case of Garissa. Independent coalition and policing.
Independent policing. Independent policing oversight authority.
Yeah. Alongside the
I have another name, but I will not say it.
Okay, so you will say it. So, the police have arrested, the DCI have arrested Sahara, whom they have said that she was involved in a hate speech. And from her words, she was inciting communities against one another. To
Which
them,
is not
they
right,
have said like that. But this was triggered by the killing of her brother, who was a taxi driver who did nothing and was killed by an officer, a DCI officer.
Was
Yet,
the victim
in the
her
same
brother?
breath,
alikuwa brother yake?
Si brother yake kabisa, lakini they were close relatives. So, yet in the same breath, the same officer who killed Aden Mohammed is on the run.
Okay.
As it was said by DCI and IPO. So you tell me, when he did that action, he was in Garissa. Garissa has one main road that stretches towards the Dadaab refugee camp, and this one that
near Ngamia Road.
Okay. And this one that comes into Nairobi.
Okay.
So if that officer killed the Aden Mohammed, how did he escape and passed through that
are there usually roadblocks?
Bridge.
Roadblocks.
Garissa, Tana River.
He
passed through that bridge, maybe. Or if he doesn't did that, he has passed through that kind of route to the Dadaab refugee camp.
Okay.
So at all costs, they know that this officer 100% sure alitoroka.
Okay.
Like unawakaona
na barabara ni moja.
So you arrest someone because of a hateful speech, and you claim that the officer who has killed innocent life is still on the run. Would it be possible?
Can I be the devil's advocate in this one? Is it possible that, I mean, I know you've said there's only one highway, but hakuna tunjia twingine tunaingianga huku.
Wapi hatutakuwa na there's nothing because
the Tana River, they can find him.
The one that borders northern Kenya to Nini. So all this that's why there is a big bridge in Garissa. So when someone comes from whether Somalia or Northeastern does not automatically comes into the country and pass through the Tana River without being checked. It's a must. So I don't know how this
so you're saying the way
they have seen they have and they are selling us lies that this man is on the run. DCI, if DCI decides to investigate a criminal,
right,
they can do it.
Wala watakupata.
In minutes.
They will find
wherever you are.
Watakupata.
So why are they not able
even
to
with
get
a tweet?
This man?
They can find you with a tweet.
And brought him to book. It's a question we need to ask ourselves. Yeah.
Lastly, our last story for this hour is on education. PS Bitok alisema mawili matatu kuhusu mambo ya education. I don't know if you guys know how, for lack of a better word, our education is in problems. Sijui kama mnajua.
Of course.
Haya, acha niwacheze hiyo video.
Money for capitation as early as today, as we wait for schools to open next week. I want to confirm to the House that we have received the money from the National Treasury, and today we are going to wire the capitation money, the 23.4 billion, to all our schools around the country. And that is what we are doing to ensure that as much as the money is not enough, we want to ensure that what is available gets school on time so that principals can be able to plan early.
So the 23 billion will be how much per student? The one you are going to wire tomorrow?
It is going to be within the same policy. The policy has not changed.
15,000.
It is going to be 15,000 for junior. It's going to be 22,000 for secondary, and it's going to be 2,000 for 1,400 for primary and 20 for primary.
Yes.
That policy still is in place.
Mimi sijui kama mnaona venye government yetu ujikaranga.
Man.
Sijui kama mnaona venye serikali yetu tunayoipenda ya hii nchi yetu.
But they have a budget for traveling using millions of money.
Unasema nini? Si inaitwa kitu inakuanga pale juu. State House. Si waliongeza tu.
Hiyo kitu inakuanga huko juu.
Hiyo nyumba inawanga huko juu. See, it is the house on the mountain, on the hill.
Yeah.
How to bana?
Instead of using all that kind of money to unreliable things, it is better that we use all the funds, maybe most of the largest amount of money to the education sector, because in education is the weapon you can use to change the world. So that capitation fund must be available every year. The students keep on increasing, and the government is claiming every now and then that it has not yet added funds to the initial budget. So that shows you they are not considering education as a first fundamental.
It's not their priority.
It's not their priority. So they should consider.
Kuna vitu mbili mimi ninasema wasicheze nazo. Unaona education na health.
Yes.
Wasicheze nayo.
That is actually how you judge a country. The history and the success of a country is judged by the state of its education and healthcare.
And how you treat the lowest people. Someone was telling us that today. Is it you?
Yes. Yeah.
Not the highest one.
The lowest kitu was kuhusu capitation. You know that despite the release of the 23 billion, there is a 76.9 billion cumulative funding gap from previous years. So the capitation of 22,000 per learner hasn't been revised in nearly a decade despite inflation. So how I said they're not serious with our education. Wanasema guys, education is not a priority for us. Jipange nyinyi.
How we wish they will not remove the free education. Was it
our viewer jamaa anaitwa Morris, and that will be our parting shot for this hour. Morris anasema, if you read the 2025 global report on trafficking in persons, you will see that many trafficked survivors either return to or remain in risky situations because of poverty and insecurity in their countries. So either unabaki huko kwa sababu ya kusota ama insecurity.
Imagine choosing that over coming back to your country. What does it say?
Of course Wakenya wakatai kurudi because of insecurity.
Because of poverty.
Wakenya wanasema
high cost of living.
Can you imagine someone who's making nothing? Absolutely zero.
Waking up every day
making 300,000 monthly.
Imagine.
Nyinyi mnachezanga. Anyway, here's that break. When you do return, of course, in the second hour, we shall be letting you know what, or rather how the conversation is going to be going.
Radio Generation, the sound is fine. Pump it up, turn it high, all the time. Let the music move you, let's sway. Radio G's got your jam all day.
Radio Generation, the home of urban soul. This week, power was tested in the corridors of leadership. Economies shook under pressure, and the voices of ordinary citizens demanded to be heard. From breaking decisions in high office to protests in the streets, from moments of triumph to tragedies that stopped us in our tracks. These are the headlines that shaped our week. And beyond the noise, we search for what really matters: the connections, the context, the stories behind the stories. And this is your weekly news roundup on Radio Generation, where every headline has a heartbeat and every moment counts.
All right, welcome back. This is the Generation Report. My name is Mungala Mbuvi. Tuko naye Hanifa kwenye studio. Hanifa, welcome back.
Asante.
You know, there's something I probably should have mentioned on this issue of the traffic in Kenyans going abroad. I don't know if you've seen the video of that gentleman speaking from Russia. The guy doesn't have, he has some teeth missing, and then his lower lip yake ni imefura, sijui alifanya nini, sijui kama ni mateke alikula huko ama ni makombora zilimlipukia.
Maskini. The sufferation.
The suffering is real.
Ay, bana.
The suffering is definitely real. But yes,
it is.
something needs to be done
Yes.
for those folks. But yeah, in this particular hour, we're going to be hosting, I don't know if our guests have arrived. I hope they have. If they have, I'm sure they will be stepping into the studio in a minute now. We're supposed to be hosting Kisii Senator Richard Onyonka, and also a political commentator who is already in the studio right now. Nataka nimpige intro. He's not a stranger to this studio, and he's definitely not a stranger to Radio Generation. Bwana Fredo Kango.
Mambo vipi?
Good morning. Good evening.
You know,
I'm so used in the morning.
Lakini sasa in some kiti inaonekana mambo.
Usijali, vitu ni nyingi, chukua hiyo ingine.
In some parts of the world, it is morning.
It is actually. You're right.
So, as a global citizen, I believe you. I believe you.
Umekuwa namna gani?
Mimi nimekuwa sawa. It has been a good week. A lot of political activities.
Yes.
And I'm loving it.
How are things at ODM?
Mambo ni shwari. Tuko sawa.
Niliona over the week.
Tunataka power. Kwa sababu hatuwezi kaa bila power. Unaelewa?
Na si ni muhimu?
Yeah.
Ni muhimu.
I don't know if is my seat low or man.
No, the seat is perfect. You see where the camera is? Inakupata very clearly.
Mjua watu wangu wana watch kitu.
Have you met Hanifa, by the way?
No.
All right.
I've never met her.
Karibu.
Asante sana. My name is Frederick Okango.
Yes.
This gentleman has hosted me here before and elsewhere some years back when I was a young man, when I joined politics. Very many years ago, I was pushing an agenda, constitutional amendment. It's called Punguza Mizigo.
You know, Fred, I didn't know this. One time you also worked in media.
Yes, I did.
Fred, umezunguka.
But let me tell you, mimi nimetoka mbali. I have worked in media.
Right.
Actually, when I graduated from the university.
Right.
I don't know where you were, 2006, 2007.
2006, I was in first year at Kenyatta
University. Mimi, 2006, 2007, I had graduated.
Okay.
And I got a job as a management trainee.
Okay.
Media. Nikazungushwa sales, manini, nikazungushwa editorial. Nikasema this is not.
That was at Nation Media?
Yes.
Okay.
Then I left. I was hired as a manager, Standard Group. Then I left. By then I'd worked elsewhere. Then I joined politics.
Okay.
Na mimi niko hapa.
All right.
I've never looked back.
Umekuwa KANU pia.
Yes.
Umekuwa
Third Way Alliance.
Saizi kwa ODM and then you were Secretary General of Third Way Alliance.
I was Secretary General of Third Way Alliance Kenya.
Right.
We pushed the Punguza Mizigo. We are the people who were enjoined in Raila Odinga 2017. When you remember the Supreme Court ruling, illegalities and irregularities.
Right.
That word came from our audit report by my then chair, CPA Miruru Waweru. And we did audit of around 200 constituencies.
Okay.
And we found that election was irregular and illegal. And that's how it was cancelled. So we were enjoying the Raila petition. Then I joined KANU as the Secretary of Political Affairs.
Okay.
Today, I am working in this government.
All right.
But also I serve in the ODM and the strategic committee of the party.
All right.
And therefore I'm happy to be here once again. I've never attended this evening show.
You have never?
But I've followed it.
But
it's one of the best. And I've seen the reviews. People love this show. They watch it. They listen. And I hope to enjoy myself as we
Hanifa has a question for you, but before she gets there, I have a question on that hii maneno ya compensation. Hiyo story ilisha tu hivyo.
No. By the way, I
Which
serve in the panel
for victims of was it for violence?
The public demonstration of protest.
Yes.
I serve in the panel. I serve in that
You're
panel.
still in the panel?
Yes, I am. I serve in that panel. If you remember, there were petitioners who went to court and challenged the legality of the panel, and also they alleged that the panel was usurping the role of Kenya National Commission on Human Rights. It was a protracted argument in court, but finally the court made a determination, Kerugoya High Court, and said that the TOR number 1 of developing the framework for compensation is a task that was supposed to be done by the Kenya National Commission on Human Rights, and therefore that job went to them. Then the President of the Republic of Kenya gave a new proclamation and a new gazette notice establishing the panel as an administrative process, and said that after they submit, the commission submit their report together with the framework for compensation, the panel's work will start for 90 days. Okay. And that report was supposed to be submitted to the president pursuant to the provision of the Constitution, Article 254(2), that requires that the president at any given time can require the commission to submit a report. That report, I am briefed and aware that will be submitted anytime from now. Okay. When that happens, all the victims of protest, not only from 2017, from 2013 all the way to 2025, shall be compensated if they are eligible. Already the commission has given a framework guideline that shows the quantums, fatalities, mild injuries, serious injuries.
Yes, I was going to ask the criteria.
So that has happened.
You used the criteria you used to compensate victims.
We have not compensated anyone.
I'm saying the criteria. You're trying to use the framework.
That was done by Kenya National Commission on Human Rights. So we are not party to it. So the people can answer that. They know what they used, but I'm told they subjected those guidelines to public participation. The civil society, the government, the media, the public gave their submissions. I want to believe it was exhaustive and the public participated. For us, the court said we can't do that. It is them to do that. When they take that report with that guideline to the president, then our work starts there for 90 days. I want to believe we'll bring closure to this issue. I have seen women who lost their husband, sons, mothers lost their children suffering, and it is unfortunate that happened. They have also said,
do we have closure without justice?
That is why I am telling you, compensation alone is not enough. There must be justice. And I believe compensation is the start of justice. And again, it's not just compensation. We are going to have reparations, rehabilitation, and non-recurrence of these issues. So there are so many forms of compensation. I want to first of all thank the commission. They've done a good job so far by subjecting these guidelines to the public. As you are aware, public participation is a constitutional process and a principle that require that the views of the public must be factored in the final decision making. I want to believe that finally Kenyans will have to see that justice is seen to be done to the victims. Yes.
Over to you, Hanifa.
My question.
Or questions. Hanifa was following you over the weekend. And
I saw your tweet about the rally in Kisumu. You had tweeted that it was going to be a bit challenging. Okay, you said significant challenges for the Linda Mwananchi rally in Kisumu.
Absolutely.
But we've already seen it
and
happening.
I posted a video.
What do you say about
Anifa,
that?
I know where you're headed. Let me tell you, Anifa.
No, I'm just curious.
Yeah, I understand. And I want us to engage on this. The reason why I posted that tweet is because if you remember, Senator Godfrey Osotsi at one point was assaulted by goons in Kisumu. It's very unfortunate. Something that should never happen to anyone, not only leaders, even you, anyone, should never happen. And when I saw a group of young men in Boda Boda that morning before the rally, riding in the streets and saying slogans, I realized that maybe there will be a confrontation.
The two-term slogans.
Yes, I feared. I come from Kisumu, so I know my people. They are very peaceful, but I was wondering, who are these goons? Number two, fortunately, if you followed my tweet thereafter, I am happy that the rally happened. I am happy, and I have to congratulate the police Because initially they had accused the PS Interior, Raymond Omolo, a fine gentleman who is a professional, that he was sponsoring goons. That is not the truth. The goons are sponsored by politicians, and politicians know themselves. Raymond Omolo is not party to it. However, the police did everything possible to scatter the goons that otherwise would have stopped that rally and bring confrontation. They wanted to make Kisumu look like a goon land. They wanted
people
to
who
make,
are chanting slogans, the two-term slogans.
I believe anyone who doesn't want the other to freely interact, engage, and communicate is a goon. So goonism in politics is something that we must discourage. And I tweeted again and said, I must congratulate the people of Kisumu. And I said it was also important that the Linda Wananchi crew were disciplined, because for the first time they were disciplined. This time they did not insult. There was no mediocrity words. There is no must go. And they conducted themselves in a manner that anyone would listen to them. You know, the people from Kisumu are very welcoming, by the way. They can listen to anyone. They have listened to Raila before. They have listened to Ruto. They have listened to Gachagua. And they will listen to anyone. So it was a good gesture. We don't want to see fights and confrontation. One of the reasons why we had deaths is because of the confrontation. And if you were in the protests, the confrontation between the young people and the police, you should allow them to exercise their right. People are free. Today, if I wanted to go and do politics in Kiambu, no one should stop me, whether I'm 2-term or 1-term. That is what we want to see. We want to see politics of ideas. We compete in ideas. In politics, there is no enmity. We just have opponents. Yes. Okay,
I have a question, a follow-up question on that again. You mentioned that the Linda Mwananchi rally people behaved, quote, quote, they had discipline. They were disciplined. They were disciplined, absolutely. Which means they didn't say such slogans. Niko na swali, because we have so many rallies here. What makes the discipline? Because we see people from the government as well going in so many different rallies, saying so many different mean, nasty things, you know, towards their political opponents. Correct. So why is it only restricted to the opposition, the Linda Mwananchi rally, or is it kitu general?
No.
Unasema kila mtu akienda kwa rally anafaa kubehave.
Everyone should behave. In all fairness.
And do the people from the government behave?
Some don't. Some don't. Some do. But one thing I have to say is, I am a member of the Orange Democratic Movement, as I said before. I watched some of the leaders who claim to be a faction of ODM when we had our SDC. Special Delegates Convention at Jamhuri Park, and they called the party leader mediocrity. They said the party has been auctioned to Ruto. They said the party is sold. Then, when they did that, the supporters of Oburu were annoyed. They felt insulted because you insulted their leader. So imagine going to a region that largely support the Orange Democratic Movement. You have insulted their leader. But they're also the Orange Democratic Movement. They are not. They are not. They are not. Why? The Orange Democratic Movement is a structured party. It is a party that organizes its meeting in a structured manner. It has got branches, polling stations. It has got county, sub-county, and national level. And if you look at the arrangement, if you look at the organized meeting of Linda Wananchi, it's a mix and match. We have seen Jubilee people there. We have seen Wiper people there. DCP there. I don't know what there. That is not ODM. ODM must remain ODM. However, we have got remnants of ODM members in it. So I am saying that meeting is not ODM, because ODM meetings are sanctioned by the party organs, Central Management Committee, National Governing Council, National Executive Committee. So I can confidently tell you that meeting or those meetings, they are not. Number two, the people attending those meetings have told us that they want young people to go back to the streets. They have told us that the real ODM led by Oburu is hungry about power. They want power. We have reminded them, our party constitution, in Article 7 of the ODM constitution, it says that the party leader shall ensure that the party captures power through constitutional means. It also says the party leader shall champion party campaigns that lead to formation of government. It also says that the party leader shall participate in political negotiations that form government. So when Oburu Oginga, my party leader, says we want power, we cannot be without power, he is actually following our party constitution. Edwin Sifuna, as a former SG or as embattled SG, let me use those words, knows he's a lawyer, he understands the constitution, but he's playing politics. When James Orengo goes out and say he is now the party leader, the party leadership of ODM is elected at the National Delegates Conference that happens before the 31st December of every 5th year. When was he elected? Tell me, is that not indiscipline? It is.
Actually, on that issue of Orengo declaring himself party leader, I think you also mentioned Senator Osotsi as deputy and then Sifuna kama the SG. Hapo kwa SG muko na plan gani?
Well, Ungala, I normally avoid
but
talking.
Legally he's still the SG.
Okay. Anifa, let's unpack that.
No, I just it's a genuine question. Is he still an SG
so
legally?
Let's unpack that. Anifa and Mungala, you know what happens? Edwin Sifuna, there was a resolution by the National Executive Committee to discipline him and suspend him from being the Secretary General of the party. He went to the political party tribunal, and the tribunal stayed that decision. And the party, ODM, being a party that respects the rule of law, respected that. And we argued our case and said he has not exhausted the internal dispute resolutions mechanism within the party, because that is the first point. When the tribunal returned him back, he went back to court to stop IDRM process, I think on 20th. So the party was given opportunity to go ahead and conclude the IDRM process, but should not make any decision until the tribunal gives the final verdict or determination. That's where we are. So I can confidently tell you that legally speaking, Edwin Sifuna has got some hope in the tribunal. But politically speaking, because I'm a politician, Sioni. I don't see it. I don't see it.
Massive crowd muscle ako nayo yote.
Well, I mean,
I have a question on that. With your sentiments earlier, you mentioned that since they are not ODM, they are quote remnants of ODM. And Kisumu ni place ya watu ODM unacheki. So
ODM damu.
ODM damu, but their rally clearly shows it was successful. It was there was massive support. You see, it means something.
You know what happens, eh? The politics that Linda Wananchi is playing is politics of mass mobilization.
But that's still part of politics.
Exactly, and that's politics. And they're also playing the politics of propaganda and the politics of
what propaganda?
I mean, I'll give you example of propaganda, but let me explain first. Now, the masses that you saw in Kisumu, these are people who believe that actually there is hope in ODM. But because the people of Kisumu are welcoming, they're disciplined, they listen to anyone, they can come to your rally and listen to you and cheer you. But remember, Nifa, you and I know that voting is a secret ballot. Baba Raila Amolo Odinga, I worked with him until his death, had the biggest rallies ever seen in this country. How come we never won anything as the presidency? It means the voting pattern is very different from rallies, and the politics of masses is deceiving. But I'm not discrediting the people.
So you're saying
I'm not discrediting the people. I am just saying I must give them credit for having that number.
Okay.
Maybe
so you're saying they came out because they are welcoming and not because they have the muscle to pull such a crowd.
I mean, they are welcoming, and also maybe they must have mobilized. Politics, the mobilization. This morning I was just having a chat with some people, and we were trying to look at what is the difference between organic crowd and a mobilized crowd. And mobilized means you pay them to go there. People have argued that those people are not in ODM colors. It means they're organic. Who told you? Let me tell you. Linda Wananchi is not a party, so they don't have identity.
So how I say what they were
they don't have identity. They can't wear any t-shirt because they don't know. I mean, it's possible.
Is it?
It's possible that a section was mobilized, and it's also possible that a section truly believe in them. Yeah, I don't know. Truly believe in them. But I'm saying I'm giving them credit because they put up a show of discipline, not because the masses were many. If Orange Democratic Movement was to go there today, you will see bigger numbers. If Ruto was to go there today, you'll see bigger numbers. We have seen Ruto with big numbers there before.
But you're not expecting the numbers.
I mean, what do you mean?
The massive support.
I expect.
Because it's the remnants of ODM.
How many people do you think they were in your approximation?
Thousands. Well, going by all the pictures.
5,000?
More than 5,000.
Maybe we need to put a picture and ask Grok.
Listen,
how many?
Speaking of that,
if you were to ask me from what I saw, I would put that number above 30,000.
Yeah. So many, and you can't pay 30,000 people to come out for a rally.
Well, remember, in that team also we have got some of the greatest mobilizers who used to mobilize for Baba. So I can't dispute that. But I must say that there's nothing unique.
Is it not because they believe in Sifuna and Babu Owino?
I don't think that's the only reason. It is a mix of reasons. Kenyans generally from that region, they love excitement and politics, and they listen, they're disciplined.
So we can say the same with the government rallies as well.
Any rally people will be excited. And when you go to every region, they've got their culture. And if you notice, they love dancing, attending rallies, listening and giving feedback. That is very normal with our people. But I can't dispute the fact that maybe there's a reason why they attended. That reason can only be defined on election date. We have 1 year, a few months to go. So I can't say it is because they love Sifuna or Babu. No, I can't say that.
Do you think going forward we'll witness peaceful, I wanted to call them demos, I remember they're not demos. Do you think we'll see peaceful meetings like the one Akina Sifuna had going forward? Because initially kumekuanga na shida pana pale. Now that they went to Kisumu now establish that indeed that indeed there are peaceful lot.
Do you know what that tells us?
What does it tell us?
It tells us that actually the people of Luo Nyanza are politically tolerant. If they went there and nothing happened to them, even after insulting,
to happen to them.
No. The expectation was that chaos, and the media projected that tension. That was the people media were reporting, but nothing happened. Now it tells you that the people of Luo Nyanza are very tolerant. I have seen before, even before Ruto got into broad-based arranging Raila, he could go there and people could cheer him up, people welcomed him. It means we are very tolerant. However, I'm not sure about other regions. If today you were to insult their leader and go there, I don't know what would happen to you. I have seen chaos in Kikuyu land. Here, Kiambu.
Yes.
I've seen chaos in Mombasa, Machakos. I don't know what causes those chaos. Okay. But I want to believe that in this country, the political tolerance levels are very low.
Okay.
People believe their leaders, and if you insult their leaders, they come out and start fighting. Something that should not happen. We are a multi-party democratic state that is governed by the national values and principle of governance. And we believe that anyone, Anifa today, if he's one term, there's nothing stopping Anifa from coming to Okango's backyard and saying one term.
Yes.
There's nothing stopping Okango from going to Anifa's backyard and saying 2 term. We must all coexist. We must compete on ideas. I believe and I pray this country, we go towards the direction that we will always listen to each other and make a decision on the ballot. That's what I want to see.
The president, I think it was on Thursday or Friday, one of those 2 days, he appointed this committee that is headed by Governor Wanga and Governor Mbarira.
It's called Broad-Based Management Committee. It was a proposal.
On the proposal?
Yes.
But in the committee?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
What is the purpose of this committee?
That was on 23rd April. Now, if you remember, I attended I attended the PG of the UDA and ODM sometimes back. In that meeting, the president proposed that we need to form a technical team of 4 from each side to start steering the negotiations broad-based. Then ODM as a party in Article 87 provides that the party in forming negotiations, in going for negotiations, shall form what is called a coalition committee of at least 5 and not more than 9 members. And that shall be the negotiating team. Now, because we are in a broad-based arrangement, ODM has got what is called Central Management Committee. UDA has got a management committee. It's only fair that if we intend to work together, it's like a marriage. When you are intending to marry from a family, then teams are formed to start looking at how this marriage is working. Particularly weddings, start seeing, okay, who is going to be the transport manager, who is going to be the chef, who is going to be the best man, is where are we going to
family spokesperson.
You know, that is what we are doing because we are now going to a marriage. And that team is going to consist of the 2 party leaders. President William Ruto as the party leader UDA, Dr. Oburu Oginga, party leader ODM, Gladys Wanga, chair ODM, Cecil Mbarila, chair UDA, Hassan Omar, SG, UDA, Catherine Omanyo, SG, ODM. Then there will be a select cabinet secretaries. The reason is because there must be and also minority leader and majority leader. Junet Mohammed and Kimani Chungwa.
Okay.
The reason, there are things to do with the legislation.
Yes.
There are things to do with policy. There are things to do with administrative. So these parties currently, they work together even in parliament. And that broad-based management committee is a committee that is going to ensure that there's smooth flow of work of the broad-based government as it is today, that arrangement. And then politically, it will also inform how we are going to move forward in terms of negotiations. I believe there will still be a technical committee that will now get feed from this management committee as a political wing to ensure that things flow. So I must congratulate President William Ruto and Oburu Oginga for seeing fit. People argue that it was to stall the fallout because of zoning. I've seen those reports. I've seen people say that. Not true. Because as ODM, we believe that zoning is a political tax tool used to negotiate. And in this zoning, the technical team will do their finding and present to this committee. The technical team will find out the popularity of candidates. Maybe in future, you never know. We could have joint nominations that is transparent and accountable. As Okango, I believe in a transparent, accountable process that reveals the actual candidate that is going to compete with the other opponents. I want to see the broad-based do that, because it is only until then that the people will believe. As it is now, I think I can see the president and Oburu are committed to achieving that.
You know, I saw Speaker Wetangula na Farouk Kibet. They were somewhere in Western Kenya, and Farouk alisema karibu nisema alisikika akisema, but alisema that Waluya will support President Ruto in 2027, then in 2032 the next president will come from Luya. Actually, yes, he used those words, Luya land. So hapo rada ni gani? Because I thought perhaps ODM is getting into this particular marriage with UDA in the hopes that in 2032 perhaps ODM leadership will form you know, the next presidency perhaps in 2032.
You see, politics changing. They normally say in Lualand, vindu vichenjanga. Politics changes.
Vindu vichenjanga.
Now, where we are now as a party, the Italians call it dolce far niente.
All right.
It means we are a state where we're just feeling nice. We are not very much worried about presidency for now. But
I saw Joho coming out to...
Yeah, and he says...
I'm a plaster... poster.
Yes, anasema anataka kuwa deputy party leader. Na even Wanga said atajua ametosha. Wanga said it's 50-50. Politicians have a way of negotiating. And when you are negotiating, you know Waswahili wanasema kila mwamba ngoma uvutia kwake. It means if you're negotiating, you pull your side and you raise your stakes. That is how you raise stakes. As a party, Raila Amolo Odinga taught us that when you want to negotiate, you must up your stakes. You up the game. It means you meet somewhere. I don't believe that we can plan for 2032 now, because the Kenyan politics will keep on changing. Right. But I believe that one day, the Orange Democratic Movement that was founded by Raila Odinga and team in 20 years ago, yes, will make a president one day. I believe so. And I don't know who he is,
and that is good. And that is good. But the reason I asked this question of Farouk Kibet is because I want to throw in Professor Kindiki in there.
Yes.
So mumeacha Kindiki,
fireman.
Juu sasa kama saizi ni Ruto na Kindiki ndio deputy president wake. Tulikuwa tunadhani ikifika 2032 mutasupport Kindiki because
umejua, you remember when Ruto ran with the Uhuru?
Yes.
Kumi yangu. Now, those were political promises. But were it not that President Ruto is a very intelligent, clever, and strategic politician, do you know maybe Ruto would not be president? But he realized that political promises are not holding.
All right.
So he went to the people and asked them and presented himself. Anyone who wants to be president, whether you're the deputy president today or tomorrow, you must present yourself to the people. You must give them a plan, agenda, a program, a policy that resonates with them, so that they start looking at you at Mungala. Actually, you're a presidential material. In any case, political parties change. Unfortunately, in Kenya, political parties are vehicles to power. Most of the parties that have formed power or have gotten power, they hardly see another election as a unit.
Okay.
But I'm happy. I'm seeing UDA stronger. I'm seeing ODM even stronger. But somebody would argue that, but we have never. Very strong.
I am arguing.
Very strong. Very strong.
I am arguing.
Very strong. Very strong.
It seems like mko nyuma kwa hii marriage. You've been swallowed by UDA, if I'm not wrong.
Umejua ukienda kwa harusi, ukienda kwa marriage, au kuiki mbele mbele, unaanza kusikiza hapa ndio kwetu.
So you've been swallowed.
No. Hatujakuwa swallowed. We are studying. We are in an environment tunaita dolce far niente. Yani wewe angalia Ukitaliano dolce far niente. Yani tunasoma tu tuko tu hapo tunaangalia.
Basi kuna ODM mingine hapo nje.
Hakuna, nilikwambia Nifa. Hii mambo ya ODM mingine leave it. There is no other ODM. The only ODM that is legally recognized by law, by structure of the party, is the one led by Oburu Oginga. He is the party leader.
Umesema we listen to the masses.
The masses have not said there is no other ODM. The masses are just saying, we are here, listening to Sifuna, listening to Oburu. In fact, Sifuna is a product of ODM. So it is confident. I mean, it is, you can confidently say.
Yeah, he prides himself
yes,
in ODM.
Because he's a product of ODM. We can confidently say, just like Ruto is a product of ODM. I mean, so all these people are ODM. But the real ODM that will go into negotiation with anyone is the one led by Oburu Oginga. So there's no factions. And I back to what Mungala was saying. You know, the issue of deputy president come 2022,
right?
2027
and then 2032. Yes,
is an issue that political scientists, strategists, and those who study politics are starting to look at it, and that's how you do the mathematics. In one of my, I normally do newspaper articles every Wednesday.
Right.
This Wednesday, my article is about the political mathematics versus the anger. And if you look at the political mathematics around this 2027 election, it shows that the numbers will matter more than crowds. And that's why I was telling Anifa, don't worry about the crowds. The numbers are very silent.
Explain.
The numbers are silent.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
So you're saying the numbers are silent,
yes,
compared to the masses.
Yes.
So unasema sahi, the other side, one side,
yes,
let's say the government side, haina masses, lakini itakuwa na number.
They have got the arithmetic, the math. Because
which is
you must
you're
work
saying
in
the masses
silence.
versus the
You notice that a lot of times those who mobilize themselves and fill up rallies, there's a possibility, I'm just saying there's a possibility or probability that some of them are not voters. They are just young, excited, energetic young people who want to see who is this Sifuna, who is this Ruto, who is this Kalonzo, who is this Rigiji. They just want to see them.
sorry, the same can be said about the other rallies.
I agree.
Yes.
And that's what I'm saying. We have learned.
So
as
it's
a
all
broad
the
base.
rallies.
Yes, we have learned that let's avoid the numbers. Even the if the masses, even if they work in our favor. But let's go back. These young people.
We still don't know about the numbers, right?
Yes, these young people. What is it that will make them vote broad base if we are going to have such a coalition? What is it? Are they unemployment, devolution, fighting corruption, economic and social inclusivity, political inclusivity? Those things you can't do in a rally. In a rally, when you are given a microphone, you cannot even explain a policy issue to the people that are excited. But you must work.
Why is it being done?
It is being done because that's the nature of Kenyan politics. But what Ruto and ODM are doing, they are meeting groups separately. You remember the Nyota program that a lot of people have criticized, that, it's World Bank money, I don't know what. But listen, a young man in Kabondo Kasepul village receiving 25,000 the first batch, he had nothing, it's a grant, and he realizes that no one has ever given this money to start a business. Then they are trained on how to use that money. Then there's a follow-up on how that business is doing. That person, when he wakes up on 10th August 2027, who is he going to vote for? Is he going to vote for somebody who paid him 500 to appear in a rally and he went back home, or somebody who changed his or her life? For sure, you'll vote for that person who changed her
mwenye
life.
amepewa 25,000 ni graduate.
Amepewa 25,000. It doesn't matter whether he's a graduate. It matters that
Really?
it doesn't
So
matter.
a graduate who is unemployed, instead of getting better job opportunities, anapewa 25,000
No,
ama 20,
Anifa.
yuambiwa aende afanye mambo yake.
Sasa Anifa.
Let's say engineer, computer science
Sawa.
engineer.
Why do
Who
you
is
think
currently
why do you
unemployed?
think the computer scientist, the engineer, the lawyer is not employed? You know why?
Because of the looming unemployment
of the
crisis in
employment
this country.
crisis, because the jobs are limited, because the environment does not favor him. What is a responsible government doing to ensure that they expand job opportunity to such people? Number one, you must create alternative jobs. We all went
So
to school.
his education does not matter.
Education matters a lot because it what separates
But you're
you from
saying
the
we
rest.
should create
But
an alternative
now, if the white collar
path for
jobs
him.
are limited, you must ensure that as a responsible government, you create opportunities that people become innovative and creative. I have seen people in the media who did law. They were in law school. I have seen people in the media.
Yeah, that
who are
is a good
teachers.
job. Unaona,
Because-
you can compare a
yes,
job
and I've
in a
seen
media
people
na
who
kupea
are
mse
in the media
25,000
and
ni
today
computer
they are
science
entrepreneurs. They're in the
engineer.
media like you guys, and they're entrepreneurs. They started a business, they are earning millions, they are building houses and employing others. That is a possibility, Anifa. So what I'm trying to say is, while the government is concerned about the unemployment challenge, particularly for the young people, it is also not sitting there. Let me ask you, how many
create
young people
better
do you think are unemployed,
opportunities.
Anifa, in this country? How many young people do you think are unemployed? What is the rate, roughly?
Employed
my
or
God.
Unemployed?
Unemployed.
Maybe 70?
Of course.
Yes. All these
More.
people, do you think they can get opportunities in government,
Hawezi.
hawezi? So,
Not
it is
in
important.
not government jobs.
Yeah. Even
Just
private
jobs.
sector.
Yes.
Creating an environment where private sector can invest and employ. Sindio? Not all of them will be absorbed. But there's a
Why
possibility.
do you think young people are angry in this country?
The young people are angry because of historical injustices. Since independence, they have been excluded. That's why in our constitution, we have categorized the youth as marginalized. Why are we categorized as marginalized? At Article 100,
I
women,
have a question
youth,
as a
and
youth.
disability. Why? Why don't we remove the youth from there? Because they have been empowered for the longest. Successive governments have excluded young people deliberately. Today,
That is correct. I agree.
Yes.
Young people are marginalized. They're
yes. And it is unfortunate that historically they are still marginalized. What are we doing to ensure that they are no longer marginalized? What are we
Exactly.
doing?
I have a question.
Go ahead.
You're saying we are marginalized. They're excluded from opportunities.
Yes.
Tumefungiwa nje.
Yes.
So what does it
Systemically.
say? What does it say about the institutions? enye imejaza, and I'm saying this as an angry youth. Institution enye imejaza wazee. Unaona? You're saying you can't do anything about the massive unemployment crisis.
No, we can do something.
Newton, I'll get there. So I have a question, Sai. Unaona, we have so many institutions enye imejaza wazee hapo ndani. They don't have any
they call them octogenarians.
Yes.
The Gen Z call them so.
Yes. You know, we are young people are locked out kabisa. We are marginalized like tunasema. But true. Institutions of government zimejaa wazee ndani. So what exactly are you doing about that?
No.
Or planning to do about that?
Let me tell you.
They're being reelected.
Na hata hawezi tembea. Wanatolewa hapa wanawekwa hapa.
Natembei. Yes.
No, listen. That is, I acknowledge that is happening. I concede it is unfortunate.
So is the solution giving them 20,000?
The solution is not giving them 20,000. The solution is ensuring that you place people based on their suitability, capability. The Constitution of Kenya and NIFA says that in putting people into public office, they must be suitable, capable, and competent. Article 73. Now, in doing so, majority of young people are suitable, competent, and capable. I have seen what these young people have done from the protest, how they are creative and innovative, coding, communication. They are very good. But you realize that the systemic nature of governance in Kenya, tribalism, nepotism, is locking them out. They are people who don't have funds. They cannot buy their way out. They hate corruption. They cannot pay for jobs. So they say, ikae. Ati nitoe 100,000 ikae kana hiyo job yako. Why? We have cartels. The government of the day must deal with the cartels, and that's what Ruto is doing in the coffee sector, in the tea sector, in the sugarcane sector, in the oil sector, in the energy sector. We encourage the government of the day to continue doing that. In fact, let's go even in the job creation, so that we look at the cartels in job creation. When a young person presents himself or herself to be recruited as an army officer, a cadet, a police officer, national youth, why do you see every time they are being conned? Your family goes and sells land, 300,000, and then there's no job because of cartels. Is that Ruto?
So you're saying all these people, how are all the people who are occupying government institutions are cartels?
Yes, they're cartels.
So let's say I'm
cartels
going to give an example. My opinion. Let's say Kotu. It's literally 90%. I'm not against old people, so but it's not.
Say you are not against the Tuoli.
It's good that you put that out there now.
Yeah,
you are not against old people.
Personal opinion and not the radio generation. Listen, Kotu, you keep saying young people. Tutaimba mpaka dunia ishe. Unaanza na government institution. Why is Kotu 90% made of 90% old people? Watu ni wazee. What exactly are you offering now? Where is the space for youth? Even in government institution, you can't claim to be fighting cartels out there, especially in private sectors, when we have government setting such bad examples. So what exactly are you doing? The institutionalized marginalization.
Is
young people have so much potential, like you've said. I speak as a young person, and I'm so angry. I struggled with the unemployment. I know what it feels like.
Absolutely.
People in government have no idea, honestly, what it feels like to wake up every single day with nothing to look up
and you go to sleep without knowing what happens tomorrow.
And you spent so much money. Your parents have struggled. They have put you through school. Wame struggle. And you know how our parents are.
I know.
You know the rate of poverty in this country.
Absolutely.
Alafu unakuja, you've graduated. I see ati, oh, you are lazy, go out and look for something to do. Well, we have 90% of an institution made up of old people. When how far is too far?
Anifa, I acknowledge your sentiments and I appreciate. As a young person, I know you have undergone that and I can see it in your face. But let me start from Kotu. I am not sure if Kotu is a government agency.
No, it's not. It was formed in 1965.
Yes, it's an institution that represents workers.
It's a trade union.
I know, lakini.
But you have given, it's a perfect example.
But actually,
personally,
personal opinion.
Go ahead.
He has mingled and married with different head of states. We all know that. Even he hakuwa in good books with Ruto na wakakuja wakapendana. So it means they still have that power together. He influences. Wako na hiyo influence and power. Kwani unataka kusema government can't do anything about
they can. But in this country, every institution.
But cartel, sorry.
I'm not
He's
sure.
one of the cartels that you've said, right? If we are categorizing it. They're one of the cartels locking you out.
That is your opinion.
Yes, my opinion.
Yeah, my opinion about Kotu is very different. I think Atwoli has managed to steer that organization. And I think in his heart, he also feels that he has done enough. And I believe very soon, maybe, he will relinquish that position, retire, and get a younger person or a better person.
He was just elected.
And Atwoli has told us. By the way,
80. He's
I don't know how old Atwoli is.
80.
But Atwoli has told us, it is the people who want him. Every time they go and elect him. Maybe we need to ask the people who elect him. Why are you not electing?
The unions.
Why are you not electing a younger person?
Stories. I have stories for days. And this is my personal opinion. I received reports and complaints that different people from different unions who came out to fight for that seat, well, they were silenced. Well, they were harassed na wakatolewa. I even explained it. And we have they reached out personally to me. Wakasema venye ilifanywa. I don't want to go into details about that. And this is my personal opinion again. So I'm saying Sarakasi too. You know that. You know, I saw your tweet saying politics. You are separating morality and politics. And that is what Kenyan politics is, by the way.
All right. So let Okango answer, because you've asked. She has asked like 3 questions in one.
The old people.
Answer them.
Yes, the first question he has asked is actually part of the cartel. And I said, I am not sure if he is part of them, but I believe that the reason why he's elected is because the people who elect him believe in him and they think he can steer that organization to the level that they want. Number 2, what is the government doing to institute like that to give young people opportunity? The young people in this country are very aggressive, determined, and I appreciate them. I have relatives who are young people, and I look at them. They wake up in the morning, they fight for themselves, they strive to go back to school, they strive to get some money so that they can better themselves, and I appreciate. I accept it is a challenge that the government must work on, but some of these things are work in progress. I want to give you an example. Some of the things that the president has done that in my view is commendable. The Kazi Maju, the digital Ajira.
We're actually going there.
Yeah, the digital Ajira. The affordable housing program that did not bagua. It actually gave opportunity, not only for direct employment, but for indirect employment. Over 15,000 MSMEs that are related got jobs. And today, it is one of the mega projects you're seeing in this country. Number 3, this Nyota project that people are saying, just 25,000. Do you know, in some of the villages, there are people who have never seen 25,000. Since they were born, they have never gotten that money for free. The ones they have received is a loan that they have to struggle to pay. They get a fuliza of 20,000 and then they are auctioned. It is bad. So I think there is some level of attempt to try and address that that problem creatively. I admit it is not enough. I admit there's a majority out there with degrees, educated, and still don't have anything. And I want to urge the government to continue doing what they're doing. Make it even better. Let's see, when appointments are done, let us respect that. Let me tell you, Anifa, our constitution is a very progressive constitution. It's the only constitution in the world that has a dedicated article, Article 55, for the youth, that the government shall ensure that they economically, politically, and socially support the young people and ensure that they protect them from harmful activities and cultural practices. It means the people of Kenya gave themselves a constitution that must protect young people, economically empower them, socially empower them, politically empower them. Why is it not difficult? Why is it difficult to do that? Any government of the day must ensure that they breathe life to Article 55 of the Constitution. So I have seen President Ruto try to breathe life into that.
He's trying enough.
Trying is not enough. And we encourage him and the government to do more. The people of Kenya, the number will continue growing. Every year, somebody turns 18. He's a youth. Every year. Even now, as you speak, the people have turned 18. It means any government of the day must keep trying. Keep trying. But I also believe that the criticism that you get, or we get from people like you, the media, the people out there, the professionals, is what keeps the government on check and ensure that they do better. Let's keep criticizing positively, but in criticism, let's offer a solution. What is it that we can do as Kenyans?
You know, we sat here one of the morning on one of the mornings, and we did some simple mathematics on that Nyota fund.
Yes.
Thing. So first of all, it's supposed to reach every single ward in this country, right? So 1450 wards.
Yes, for
1,450, yeah, so 1450 wards.
Yes.
And then we looked at some of the people that perhaps this particular fund will target. So let's put it at, let's assume someone is doing a mindy business.
Yes.
That person, if you give them 25,000, you have literally transformed their lives. Yeah, I have a problem with Nyota, and mine is more of perhaps how it's been executed as opposed to the amount of money that they are being given.
Yes.
But let's just go back to the mathematics. Ukipatia mtu wa mahindi 25,000
as a start,
hapo umempatia stock ingine mwenda, because where I live kuna mama anatuchomeanga mahindi hapo. Nonanga akichoma about 10 to 15 cobs in a day.
And each goes for how much?
A whole cob would probably retail at
50.
Is it 50 really?
No,
I don't know.
15.
A full cob.
Expensive.
Let's even put it at 150.
Okay.
A whole cob, and then she's selling like 10 of those in a day. Huo mama ukimpatia stock ya 25,000 ube transform siku yake completely. Take someone who makes smokies. A packet of smokies goes for about, I don't know, maybe let's even put it at 500. You give that person 25,000, you have literally transformed that person's life. My issue with Nyota is perhaps how it was executed and the success rate. I don't know how they did the mathematics. And then tuliambiwa it is a grant, but other experts have been coming out to tell us it's a loan. That also for me is another issue. There is some issue with transparency. So is it a loan to the government or a loan to the beneficiary? If it is no to the person, it is not a loan. Huyu amepatiwa imsaidie. My issue is at the end of the day ini a government loan. If at all it is a loan, we are yet to discuss the transparency of that issue. If indeed it is a loan, then all of us in this room are paying for that loan.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so that would be my issue with it. But as far as the amounts are concerned,
how is it benefiting us if we are paying it back?
Yeah, so to the person receiving the loan, akitumia vizuri, by the pesa itamjenga. Kwa wale wanapatiwa alafu wanaenda rave, wanaenda kunywa pombe, now that one for them is a problem.
And that's why they are taken through a rigorous training, and they are identified based on the suitability and viability of the project they want to start before they are given this money. So anyone who you see receiving that money, they have undergone some training, some test, some proof that it is possible. Because if you're to dish out money to anyone, they can wake up one morning and they go and sherehe, and then it doesn't help.
What happened to Hustler Fund? I think it was supposed to solve the same problem you're trying to solve
Hustler
now.
Fund. Hustler Fund.
So what happened to Hustler Fund?
Hustler
and
Fund.
What is it that you're trying to achieve?
I don't want to talk about Hustler Fund
compared to
Hustler Fund. But Hustler Fund is a Hustler Fund. I mean, it was a good project.
What is the difference?
It was a good project. Hustler Fund was a loan. You get it and you pay in lower interest. I believe it is still working.
Is it?
But also, there are mischievous people who took the fund and refused to repay back. So you cannot lend more because the public are owed. I must confess, I was then in the political wing that was not welcoming the Hustler Fund until we joined Broad-Based. And remember, one of our deputy party leaders of Paranya was one of the people that was saying that take this money and don't pay. Then, fortunately or unfortunately,
he's now the CS.
He was now appointed the CS.
And
I never understood it. Now I understand it. And I believe Oparanya understand it. Today, Oparanya is doing a good job. as a CS in this government, and they have managed to recollect some of the debts. They have put measures in place how people graduate from one level to another. Today, businesses are even taking Hustler Fund to enhance their businesses from individual loaning to now business. But Anifa has asked a question: what happened to it? It has had challenges. It is true.
Is it not going to happen to Nyota Fund?
I don't think so. And you see, as we progress,
why? Si mtu anaweza pewa pesa venye umesema nende ajibambe.
Because when I give you Hustler Fund, I don't know you. You just register and you take the money. Whatever you do with it, I don't know. I expect you to pay it back. If you don't pay, it is a debt. When I give you,
they're giving people money and they don't know who they are.
Yes, because
I think there are documents you produce.
It's like Fuliza.
Fuliza, you have to pay. They know you.
No document. You just start 254.
But they know your details.
If you qualify, they have your details.
Yes.
And then they start calling you. They remind you with a text, pay. But I have seen the government put measures for those who took Hustler Fund. There is, it has been contested though, that if you don't pay, then you should now be denied some government services because you owe them money. I don't know how that will go, but I think recovery, fair? It's not fair, but I think there must be a better recovery. Some of the people who took this money are intentionally refusing to pay because they were told by political class don't pay. Now, compared to the Nyota, the government cannot give you Nyota if they don't know you, if they have not taken you through training, if they have not seen the viability of your business, if you have not been put in incubation process and they have ascertained that this is worth funding. And in any case, they don't expect you to pay it because it is going in a good cause and it is a grant, not a loan. So that's the difference.
So hata ukienda kujibamba nayo.
That's why you are trained so that usiende ujibambe.
Training doesn't 100% guarantee results.
But a good meaning person, a Kenyan who believes that must change his life, a young person who believes that this is something that's going to change my life, I believe they'll not take that money and go drinking.
Let's take a short break, but before we do that, can I read a comment or two?
Yeah, go ahead.
Hapa tuko na my prince amesema people change if this is Fred Okango of 2023. Kwani Fred wa 2023 alikuanga nani?
You know, people tell me that a lot on Twitter, that what happened to you because I changed political goalposts.
Are they calling you a sellout?
No, they're just saying, why am I supporting Kasongo?
Okay.
Why am I supporting Kasongo? They expect me to remain Paul. Let me tell you, is it Paul to Saul or Saul to Paul?
It was Saul to Paul.
Saul to Paul. Today I'm Paul. When
you had your Damascus moment.
Yes, when Saul was persecuting Christians,
right,
and he saw the light, and he went and confessed and say,
akabadilika.
Today I am a changed man. Okay. Let me tell you, I am a changed man. I believe in this country. I'm patriotic enough. While we might not like the president, while we might not have voted for him, but it is important to appreciate that if somebody shows goodwill and he shows that he can do the job, it's only fair to support him and criticize constructively, not negatively.
You will tell us why you're supporting the president. Morrison says, I like the show, leteni Mwafrika sasa. Allah. Okay. Elijah Sanga amesema Hustler Fund is working and if you have Fuliza hawakati natumia Hustler Fund personally.
Ndio hiyo sasa.
All right.
Kenya wanasema si mimi.
Elijah, thank you so much. Unasema ni Fred amemtuma.
Hapana. Wewe ni Mkenya lazima.
Let's take a short break. We'll be right back.
Okay.
The sound is fine, pump it up, turn it high, all the time. Let the music move you, let's sway. Radio G's got your jam all day.
Radio Generation, the home of urban soul. This is the Radio Generation News.
Good evening, I am Dahira Ahmed. At least 14 people have been killed in a plane crash in South Sudan, with 2 Kenyans confirmed among the victims, The South Sudan Civil Aviation Authority said that the aircraft operated by CityLink Aviation Limited went down about 20 kilometers southwest of Juba shortly after taking off from Yei. Authorities have linked the crash to poor visibility conditions at the time. Investigators have been dispatched to the scene to establish the exact cause of the accident. The identities of the victims have not yet been fully released as recovery and identification efforts continue. And former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua has told the Milimani Law Courts that he may withdraw his application seeking reinstatement to office and instead ask the court to nullify the decision that led to his removal from office. Through his lawyer, Paul Mwite, he argues that his removal was unconstitutional. Mwite also said Gachagua fell ill during the parliamentary process and was admitted to hospital, but a request for adjournment was denied despite the Speaker and Senate being informed. Lawyer Elisha Ongoya also compared the case to the trial of Jesus Christ, arguing that the impeachment process followed procedure in form but not in substance.
The Senate recognizes the right to a fair hearing in considering a petition for removal of a person from office because they say so in their standing order number 81, the right to appear before the committee, the relevant, and signaled his willingness to take a stand. He became mute. None of us, all of us are human beings. Payment of the remuneration he would have otherwise earned, plus, of course, all the benefits as per the law, plus damages. Finally, for the period of 2.5 years that His Excellency Rigathi Gachagua served as the second Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, it is our submission that Article 151 of the Constitution is fully applicable, and I invite your lordships and your leadership to have a look at that article.
Elsewhere, President William Ruto has defended the social health insurance program, saying critics opposing its implementation are those who lost business opportunities under the new system and are behind negative media reports claiming teachers have rejected the plan. Speaking at the Regional World Health Summit in Nairobi today, the president said opposition to health sector reforms is being driven by self-interest rather than public concern. Ruto emphasized that ongoing reforms in the health sector aim to improve service delivery and expand access to quality healthcare, urging stakeholders to focus on improving systems rather than undermining reforms through what he termed sponsored narratives.
And I dare say very strong believers in multilateralism and collective action. This summit is anchored on a clear and urgent imperative. It calls on us to reimagine Africa's health systems through innovation, integration, and interdependence.
If you read one of the headlines of one of the newspapers today in Kenya, there's a big headline saying how teachers and civil servants have rejected our health system. That headline is not coming from the civil servants, it's not coming from the teachers. It is coming from business interests, people who have been benefiting from health insurance.
The Kenya Union of Post-Primary Education Teachers, Homa Bay branch, has said the government has not fully addressed their demands, leading to ongoing tensions. The teachers have threatened to stay away from work if their concerns are not addressed, including autonomy for junior secondary schools and challenges in the implementation of the SHA health insurance system. They also expressed dissatisfaction with the SHA system, citing poor service delivery, and insisted that internship-based employment is illegal.
Junior school requires autonomy. Junior school requires to remain autonomous in terms of its structure, remain autonomous in terms of its operation, remains autonomous in terms of rolling out the leadership roles as per the system.
The issue of the interns, our colleagues who are employed on internship basis. The Court of Appeal sat and affirmed the decision of the Labor Relations Court in around March 2026 and confirmed that employment on internship basis is illegal.
In Homa Bay, we want to appeal to you. You promised us over 300 hospitals, but up to now, we only have around 20.
Aside that, the County Government Workers Union has supported the appointment of Martin Nangole as the new Managing Director of the Nairobi City Water and Sewerage Company, dismissing claims by the Water Service Workers Union that the process was flawed. The union secretary said Nangole's appointment followed proper procedures and was based on merit, noting that he had been servicing in an acting capacity for 6 months. He added that the appointment is a strong motivation to staff as Nangole started from the lower ranks and rose step by step to the leadership position.
Solidarity forever. Managing Director has been in acting capacity for the last 6 months, that is from September last year 2025 up until 24th April now 2026, and it was confirmed after a rigorous interview process that took place from a very competent consultancy.
And we are against anybody who is coming to terrorize the company with the aim of...
The main function of the union is to advocate for the workers' welfare. And one of these functions, it is through fair and procedural promotions. Yes.
And that's the truth on Radio Generation. Good evening. I am Dahira Ahmed.
This week, power was tested in the corridors of leadership, economies shook under pressure, and the voices of ordinary citizens demanded to be heard. From breaking decisions in high office to protests in the streets, from moments of triumph to tragedies that stopped us in our tracks, these are the headlines that shaped our week. And beyond the noise, we search for what really matters: the connections, the context, the stories behind the stories. And this is your weekly news roundup on Radio Generation, where every headline has a heartbeat and every moment counts.
All right, welcome back to Radio Generation. This is the Generation Report. The time right now is 9 minutes past 9 o'clock. Hanifa Adan is in the studio with me, and we do have political strategist, or is it advisor, Fred Okango. Fred, karibu sana.
Asante sana.
Asante. You want to tell us why you are supporting the broad-based government, but before we get to that, today Gachagua, the former deputy president, was in court. Na inasemekana ameabandon history ingine nyingi ya reinstatement. He just wants to be compensated for the time that he would have been deputy president of this country. What does this mean for the opposition from your perspective?
From my reading of that case, it is a fairly straightforward case, but also complex in a way. You remember Gachagua was removed from office and there was a charge sheet. The process of impeachment of Gachagua started in the National Assembly, and it was successful in the National Assembly. It went to the Senate, it was confirmed in the Senate through a trial, and he was given an opportunity to defend himself. At some point, Gachagua failed to appear, allegedly because he was unwell. Then the process was completed, and majority of the allegations were substantiated by the Senate, and therefore it led to his removal from office as the deputy president. Today, that matter is in court, and I don't want to talk into details about an issue before the court of law because it will be sub judice. However, I can predict that the reason why Gachagua is no longer interested in reinstatement as the deputy, because that matter has been overtaken by events, and there is no way on earth that Gachagua will become the deputy president of Kenya in this government, because there is a new deputy president in the name of Professor Abraham Kithure Kindiki.
All right.
If you like, Abra K, Powerman. Fireman. Now, what happens in this case? There's a possibility, if the court make a determination that he should be paid, maybe he'll be paid. But that gives him some momentum in a way, because he will go out there, energize, and say, they removed me unlawfully and the court has told them to reward me. What if the court says he runs? I mean, the court says that that removal was illegal, and therefore he has an opportunity to run. Because remember, the law says that if you are removed in office in such a manner, in a manner that you are some gross misconduct, impeached, then you cannot hold public office or state office anymore. Deputy president is a state officer by interpretation of Article 260, like the president and many other ministers and so on. Now, what if Gachagua gets some reprieve and runs? In my view, the opposition will be divided further. Already they are fragmented. You have seen Martha Karua doing purple paths around. You know, purple is a very nice color, and I love the purple.
Like the one Hanifa is wearing today.
Purple is royalty. So Martha is doing a royalty paths in the mountain, while her colleagues are in Mombasa, already fragmented. Matiang'i says this, Gachagua says this, my good friend Diplomat Kalonzo says this. If Gachagua was just to get, remember, he has been telling his colleagues that he believes is the best among the equals in the opposition.
Right.
That means he is looking for his own way to do his own politics. And I can tell you, Gachagua, nothing stops Gachagua in future from approaching Ruto and telling Ruto that I'm coming with my basket. The other time it was a gentleman's agreement.
Yes.
This time, tuandikane. I have my numbers, you have your numbers. Nothing wrong. And that upsets the political arithmetic for everyone. But I believe that even with that, our party ODM is still safe, because we are in this for the people of Kenya.
Yes.
We are in this for our supporters. We are in this for Raila Amolo Odinga. We are in this to ensure that we actualize the ideas of Raila and the party. That says that as a people, as a party, we are a party that believes in social and economic justice.
Yes.
In devolution, rule of law. That is what we want to see. So, if we pursue that through whatever means that is legal, then we can actually actualize it.
All right.
Now, the other issue with this Gachagua is that you notice that is the center stage in all these things. That tells you if Gachagua was to exit, opposition will be punctured. That is the truth. That's the truth. I don't know what, and if I want to say something that's what I see.
And if have you become a political expert?
No, she is. You know, I normally read the
I'm not a
articles.
political expert.
I read articles. Articles are political.
Okay.
Yes,
And at some
unfortunately,
point,
that is my life.
At some point, they said that Anifa should run for woman rep Nairobi. I don't know whether it is you or they. You know, in politics, say, what do you wamesema?
Yeah.
And I will not run, unfortunately or fortunately. But is ODM also not fragmented?
ODM is now. And the reason why it is because, you know, Anifa, and I started by telling you this, the Orange Democratic Movement is a structured, organized party. The Orange Democratic Movement is a party that believes in constitutionalism. In our constitutionalism approach, we believe that at some point we must retreat in order to advance. The party has got an opportunity to attain power through constitutional means. That is our first objective in Article 7(1)(a). Number 2, the Orange Democratic Movement believes and has given the mandate to the party leader to lead campaigns that will form government through elective position in the national level and the county level. Then it also mandates the party leader in Article 16 to ensure that they lead political negotiations. Now, back to your question, is ODM fragmented? Yes. There are people who don't believe in everything I've said. They believe in insults. They believe in mass mobilization. They believe in kingpinship. You saw them in Kisumu. They believe in Baba told me who told you. Baba is gone. It is unfortunate. But we are saying today, in that fragmentation, it also shows that ODM is a democratic party. In other parties, you cannot criticize the party. By the way, the ODM constitution says that a member can positively or constructively criticize the party or its leadership. But we have seen level of indiscipline. And that's why the ODM today is disciplining some members. That leads to the fragmentation. When the party takes a decision through its organ, the NEC, NGC, Central Committee, National Delegates Convention, and a senior member says that that is not what he will do, while the party mandates him that the majority will have their way, minority will have their say, then there you have violated the constitution and you are a candidate for disciplinary process. That's why Sifuna is being disciplined today. And that's why this fragmentation is there. Number 2, there are people out there who are supporters of ODM.
Yes.
They might not have understood exactly what is going on, but because they believe that sometimes things can change. They have changed their mind and they're saying, no, as we believed in Baba, but now Baba is not there, let's find a way where we can fall. We want to encourage those people that the party is still on, and we want to ask them. The party ODM is a strong party, and we still believe in the ideas of Raila Amolo Odinga, the ideas of the party, that we must strengthen devolution. We must fight corruption. We must ensure that there's inclusivity. We must ensure that there's opportunity for young people. It might be a tall order, Nifa, as you said earlier, that there's challenges and young people are suffering. It might be a tall order. But we believe one day we'll get there. So, to answer you straightforward, yes, ODM is fragmented, but that fragmentation is not discouraging us. It's to ensure that we do everything better. I believe at some point, some of these people who are now trying to say that, the party is sold, it's auctioned, will find their way back to the party so that we grow together. We want to see a stronger ODM. We are going into a negotiation that requires that we must be strong, and we cannot afford to be fragmented. The people sponsoring fragmentation in the party, are people that we know. They're out there. They don't want to see a strong ODM. They want to see a weakened ODM so that the ODM cannot actualize the ideas of Raila Amolo Odinga. That one we know, Anifa. And we are calling them out. Very soon you will hear us in the press conference calling them by names. That you, and you, we know you gave this much, we are doing this, but we don't want to talk about that now. Because our time for that is coming. That will be politics. But today, I'm here to speak the facts and engage the public so that we engage, we talk to the people and engage.
There's the time, I think it was maybe a week or two ago, Sifuna said that he's open to having conversations with ODM, or rather with Linda Ground.
Yes.
Is that something that has been considered?
Mungala. He said that, but there was a condition. They said they can only do that if the entire leadership resigns. Recently in Kisumu, he said, we should call for a national delegates convention so that Orengo can run
as party leader.
You see how he changes goalpost?
Okay.
But I understand him. He's a politician, so he can say anything. But let me tell you, Oburu Oginga has told us, the party leader, he will not chase anyone. The party will not chase anyone. But the indiscipline in the party will not be tolerated. I believe the process that is going on, IDRM process, if Sifuna appeared before the IDRM committee and explained himself, the IDRM committee works independently. They have got their own rules. They'll make a determination. What if that determination is pro Sifuna? So we encourage him to come. He is a party member. He has not stopped being ODM member. He's still ODM member, even though he's an embattled SG. He can still find a way of negotiating or agreeing with the party so that all these things are sorted. That's why the tribunal actually returned him back, because the tribunal understands that by the time you go to court, that issue is irreconcilable differences in the party or between party members. But even in the house, if you have a problem with your brother, before you go out there, you must sit down and agree and say, okay, fine, nilikukosea wapi, mimi naona, and then you agree. It might not remain OSG or it might remain SG, but at least that issue shall have been resolved through party mechanism and structures. That is a possibility. So if you ask me, Sifuna can still show goodwill, come to the party, and that is done. However, I have seen how he speaks. I have watched him. I have read him. I have seen his lieutenants. I have seen his members, the company he keeps. Tell me, if you have a people or members from Jubilee in your rally, Wiper in your rally, DCP in your rally, I don't know which party in your rally. There's a new one they call Renaissance, I don't know, insurance, whatever.
Renaissance.
Okay, that word in your rally. Then you say that that is a party that is ODM and believes in the ideas of Raila Amolo Odinga and ODM. You're lying. That is not ODM.
But Raila was all inclusive. Raila was a man of the people.
Was a brand of the people.
I think he also said what Raila alisema, what Sifuna says is what he says.
I agree, and I've seen, and I was there when he said it. But Baba said that the arrangement that we have today, people make these broad-based look like I don't know what. Baba said that the reason why we get into the broad-based is because we want to see things work.
Chunga hiyo kebo. Kigonga sana itazima.
Nimeiona. We want to see things work. We want to see this country progress. When young people, Anifa and team went to the streets, they actually opened the eyes of Kenyans and they demanded for certain things. Those things were later crystallized and put in a 10-point agenda that you say we'll talk about. I'm sure this is the time now.
Yes.
And those things, some of them have not been actualized. And Baba said until 2027 and maybe post 2027, and if Baba sees it, he says no, the way I look at things, we will even go beyond 2027. That was a promise that Baba made before he died. When somebody says who told you, is picking an issue and putting it out of context for political reasons. If Baba was alive today, Baba would say yes, things are not going on well in this country. However, we made a commitment. Where is the 10-point agenda? Where is the compensation? Where is the fight of corruption? Where is the fight against, where is the inclusivity of young people? Where is devolution? Baba would ask those questions. That's why the committee, the Zani committee, presented an interim report. And that interim report, Mungala, you read it. It has outlined the progress. It means not achieved fully, but the progress. So when people say that people have not been paid, I just told you what is happening in the compensation. Look at devolution. The increment of the allocation to the counties from 420 billion to 450 billion. Look at youths, the Nyota, the Kazi Maju, Ajira Mtaani, and many more. Look at the inclusivity of young people. Economic inclusion, social inclusion, inclusion in education. We today have even a fund for marginalized community students from marginal communities to ensure that they go to school.
Yes.
I want to say there has been attempt, not to the level that the people want, but that progress report. If we give this time and support, maybe we are going to see a change. So, Anifa, that's what I'm saying. Some of these things, they take time. But I am happy that the public are awake. They criticize the government. They put the government. That's why we are a democratic state. That we must speak the truth to power, and the power must respond positively.
All right. Before we move away from ODM, I have one last question, or rather an observation, which will validate or tell me otherwise.
Yeah.
I feel like the only reason you folks are not necessarily joining the united opposition is because of DCP and specifically regarding Gachagua. Oh yes, the reason why the rest of ODM perhaps would want to come to the united opposition is because of DCP, and it is because of perhaps how some of the things Gachagua said when Raila Odinga was alive. Ile story ya kumwekea mitego na mambo mengine mengi alisema. Perhaps that would be the only reason why you guys
not only that. Yeah. You see, the Orange Democratic Movement is a party that can align with any party of like mind. If you remember, when we went for election as Azimio, and ODM was one of the biggest partners in Azimio.
Yes.
Our manifestos were more or less the same. Azimio manifesto had affordable housing. UDA had. Azimio manifesto had how to tackle the youth unemployment. UDA or Kenya Kwanza had. And many others. That means at least there are certain resemblance, but the execution methods are different.
Okay.
DCP today is a party that we don't know yet. We don't know yet what they stand for. We have not seen their manifesto. But in addition to that, Rigathi Gachagua is a gentleman in this country who has proven that for him is about ethnic politics. Ethnicity is not bad. The Constitution says that there shall be regional and ethnic diversity of the people of Kenya. It means the Constitution recognizes that we come from ethnic groups. But how do you use ethnicity to the betterment of the people? He said, shares. As a party, we don't want shares. We believe that Anifa is equally important as Okango. We believe that Anifa can get the same opportunity because of her credentials as Okango. But when he says that the development agenda is going to Nyanza and should go to Mount Kenya. That is where we depart. When he says that he will send Raila to Bondo and will never come back, that is what we are against to. When he says that the Orange Democratic Movement is a party that is a Luo party, that's what we are against. And we are saying such people are not our political friends. They can be our personal friends, but not political friends. And therefore, as things prevail today, we don't see any convergence with the Rigathi Gachagua for now. We don't.
For now.
Yeah,
okay.
We don't. I'm being careful because I know politics changes. But for now.
Tunaweza amuka kesho tuone.
No. We can't, but we don't. I mean, to be fair,
yes,
we are not intending to negotiate with Gachagua.
Okay.
Because we know what he stands for. Until he changes and become Paul from Saul, then we can recognize him and say, Mr. Gachagua, you are now Paul.
Okay.
And you are now good man. We can negotiate with you.
President Ruto just the other day said that he's not going to fulfill part of the manifesto that he promised Kenyans in 2022. He's going to fulfill the entire thing. He literally said nothing is going to be left behind. How realistic is that claim?
That question demands us to assess what has been done
so far
and what is remaining. And then you compare with the number of days remaining to the end of his term, first term. I have not done that month.
Okay.
But my assessment tells me that there's been quite an attempt. Next time I come back, you ask me that question, I shall have done research and I'll tell you. But there's been quite an attempt. I know it is not practically possible. It's not practically possible to do everything 100%.
Now
you can do 90.
Do you understand why he's called names? The names he's called.
No. You see, I understand.
Yes.
And the good thing with President Ruto, he changes lemons into lemonade. You saw the other day he was dancing to the Kasongo tune. Kasongo, yeah. Mobile nanga.
It's a nice song. I actually like it.
He enjoys it. But do you know why it's called Kasongo?
Tell me.
Because I think they're equating him to somebody who I don't know. But
okay, let me just interpret
tell
it
me.
for you. The name came about, of course, from what we've been seeing. Someone who lies a lot.
So Kasongo was a liar.
Yes, Kasongo is a liar.
Okay. Now he has been called Anaconda. Recently, Anaconda.
And Gizinji.
And he's called Anaconda because he has cut weight. Maybe he gyms a lot. But how about what if he was to call his opponents Ananona?
He said,
you see,
I think he told people to go to gym.
But he didn't call him Ananona.
Is it not fat shaming?
They have called him mtu wa mashamba. See, that's what
Arab
mashamba. That's what Gachagua called him. Mtu wa kuua watu.
Actually, Arab mashamba ilianza way before he even met.
But you see, those are political banters. And I don't think the president takes them personally. In fact, if I were him, I would not take them personally. Politics of Kenya is confrontational. It is a politics that, people call you names, but that's it. At the end of the day, you see them together. So don't take it seriously, Kenyans. Those are just
people
banters.
are arrested over the banters.
No. I don't know anyone who was arrested because they called Ruto Kasongo. I don't know.
You've seen the accounts of the people who are captured and arrested.
If there's any, it is unfortunate. If there's any, I've seen people who are arrested for misuse of computer, cyber crime misuse, I don't know, whatever. But if they go to court, and I've also seen them being acquitted, majority of them, because some of those cases, they don't hold anything. So for me, the reason why you say Ruto is called names is because he's not able to fulfill all the promises. And Kenyans say Ruto is a liar. But let me tell you.
Yes.
Anyone who is in the position of president and is looking at this mega plan of Kenya, everything rests with him. He wants to see how Kenyans, pupils, students, kids go to school. The mothers deliver in a hospital that has medicine. The young people get jobs. Those who are employed get salary increment. The teachers get their share. the doctors get their share, the civil servant get their share without any delay, and so on and so forth, that is systematically working. You must be somebody who is strategic and deliberate. It requires a thinker, and that's why I must congratulate the government of the day, because they are trying. There are challenges, I admit. You might say that people normally give what we call New Year resolutions. I don't know whether you do.
I do.
And you say, this year, I am going to buy a Mercedes. I'm going to buy a Range Rover. Then you end up buying a Prado or a G-Wagon or a Volvo.
Something that is not a Range Rover.
Yes. It means you have made attempt and you have not done it the way you promised or you committed, but you are working towards it. That's how government works.
It is, but sasa unajua New Year resolution mtu anakuja hapo mbele anasema when the year is starting.
Yes, when the first term is starting.
His statements according to Mbuvi they are recent. He's already in this. He can see what can work, what can't work, and at what particular time.
Yes.
But amekuja juzi yasema quote he's going to fulfill it 100%.
This was before he went to Italy.
You see, Mbuvi and Anifa.
Yep.
When you are a leader, even you are the head of the house, you don't tell your children that we are failing. Tomorrow we have no food. Tomorrow you'll not get transport to go to school. You don't. You must give Kenyans hope. You don't lie. You give them hope because you are working honestly towards it.
You see the difference between now that you've brought in, because I am a father. Me, the moment I tell my children tomorrow we shall eat,
they must eat.
Fred, hata kama sina pesa,
hata kama unaenda kukopa,
afadhali nikupigie simu nikwambie Fred nisikie ni buy food.
Exactly, yes.
So that is the same.
It is not.
Afadhali Ruto aende akope, alete pesa. Umeona SGR imeanza hapa.
SGR na imeiona, sikatai, lakini Fred, acha nikuambie kitu kimoja ama nikuulize, sababu we are Kenyans and we are in this together.
I agree.
When the president says 300 shillings kwa mtungi ya gas, it's been 2 years.
Thank you for. I was about to say that.
Walai.
Yes, he said that it turned out.
Are you sure that was a slip of the tongue?
Yes, there's a video.
Are you sure it's not a slip of the tongue?
He said.
Is it?
Nifa, surely.
How often does he have a slip of the tongue?
Maybe quite often, because he says so many things. I don't know.
Promises mingi.
The president said this even before ODM joined the broad-based.
I know. I remember that story.
So the president promised Kenyans gas worth 300 shillings. Now, I know this country doesn't produce gas. So sijui alikuwa na make your promise akimaanisha nini, but anyway, he made it. He also told us, he told women as he was campaigning, that they shall get free sanitary towels. Hiyo mambo sijui ilienda namna gani. And many other promises that I might not be able to remember right now. And
the Wi-Fi.
And there's a reason why. Yes, there's a reason why someone is given a name, Anaconda. Hiyo tunajua ni kwa sababu ya weight. Kuna sababu mtu anaitwa Kasongo, Kaongo. I mean, surely they don't come out because they do not come.
I never really enjoy those names.
They do not come up because of one lie. You know, one lie, because every other president anyway before President Ruto has lied to Kenyans. Let's be honest. But none of them has been called a liar.
No.
To the level of this president.
And to add on that, where do you draw the line between hope, giving hope and lying? Unajua giving hope, like he said, if you promise your kids something, hata kama umekosa, you will get it and give it to them.
Do you go back to your kids and tell them, I tried, I thought I would get you
yes.
But I didn't do this.
Yes.
Do you think the president has not come back and told us?
Where has he told us?
I'm just asking. You know, you're a journalist, you do research more than me. Is there a situation where the president will come back to the people in his many addresses and saying, we were supposed to be here, but we are not here because of global issues? For example, the issue of fuel. We were supposed to ensure that this G2G works, but because of the circumstances beyond our reach in the Middle East conflict, we are now here. He has come back and told us. But I understand there are instances where he has not come back. And that's why the public must put the government into check, not only opposition. I admit there are certain instances where maybe the communication has not been perfect and people are not getting that feedback that he has tried, but clearly it's not working. And as a president, I think his commitment to the people of Kenya in such a way that he keeps trying to ensure that whatever happens, let me promise you and deliver it. And you can only judge the president after the 5 years. We are having 1 year and a few months to go.
Right.
I think
what can happen in 1 year?
So much can happen.
Really?
So much can happen.
So much that hasn't happened in the last 4 years.
So much can happen, Anifa. And I can tell you why. There are certain projects that are halfway. They can be completed in 1 year. There are certain projects that are administrative. They can be done in 6 months. There are certain projects that are mega. They cannot be done in a year or 6 months. They have to be postponed. But as a person who is patriotic enough, you must assess and say there is good intention. And the intention is clearly seen through the administrative process, judicial process, executive process that we have in place, even policy in place. Today, we never used to have a legislation on public participation. But I'm aware there is a bill in Parliament, public participation bill, that should be an act. Because a lot of cases have gone to court and they're lost on account of lack of public participation, where the people are not given opportunity. It is a constitutional principle. Do you want to fail the Parliament that, you know what, you've performed badly, there is no public participation bill, while the bill is already act, but the bill is already there? You give them a credit, say you have tried, but now make it an act. That is how progress works. The 10-point agenda, I know people are unhappy because they're saying we want it now. It is work in progress. Even the next president will not achieve it 100% because taking place, we want youth inclusivity in all spheres of life. Every day, every hour, people turn into youth. The numbers keep bulging. And we must be strategic enough to ensure that we provide for that number. Number two, strengthen devolution. Things change. Devolution will always have challenges. There are cartels, the ones that Anifa doesn't like. Those cartels are in counties. They have devolved corruption. There is read Auditor General report. Most of these governors are thieves. And the Parliament must interpret the Auditor General report. They take action. They give recommendation. What has happened? You saw the other day, some of them refused to appear before the Senate committee. So the challenges are always a cogwheel. They rotate like that. But I want to tell Kenyans, Anifa and Mbovi, we're in a country where we are dealing with systemic failures. There are historic systemic failures that not one president will overturn those things in 10 years, in 5 years. The issues that Ruto is dealing with today, some of them are post-independence. Uhuru never finished them. Kibaki never finished them. Moi definitely never finished them. Kenyatta Sina never finished them. And therefore, we must keep on. Maybe Mbuvi will be president one day and deal with them. Maybe Anifa will be president and deal with them. We pray that as we progress as a country, we keep offering solutions because this is our country. We don't have any other country. And that's why I'm happy. Today, we don't see this, we don't hear these people of abduction, young people being killed. We don't hear it. I was happy. I was the happiest when I saw Kisumu. There was no violence in that rally. I was
but a young man was killed in Garissa. Other one, kuna mngine Kilifi.
Yes.
We have so many
cases
of extrajudicial killings. A lot.
Yes. And those are cases that we must take up and we must speak about them. And I must tell you, if such a thing happened, action must be taken. Action must be taken. We cannot keep quiet. We must talk about them. And I like the fact that Kenyans are coming out to talk about them. Because some of these things are rogue policemen. The majority of the police officers in this country are very good. They are disciplined, they are trained. But you cannot lack a few that are also taking law in their own hand and do bad things. And the president is not telling them to do so. The president has been committed. And they have said, if you do that, you carry your own cross. You will be subjected through the judicial process. You will be prosecuted. And if you are found guilty, the consequences are there.
You know, there are other things that we can also kind of like fault the president directly.
Yeah.
On issues to do with corruption. I am waiting for the day I will hear our president, any of them, wake up and say that today Fred Okango has been fired as the CS for mining, and for example.
Inshallah. Maybe one day I will be a CS.
Yeah. So,
but I'll not be fired.
Yeah, so Fred has been fired because on suspicion of corruption, and he will face the law accordingly. I'm yet to see that day here
And
in
that
this
is
country.
the true Singapore.
Yeah,
That is what happens in
agree.
Singapore.
You-
If we are claiming we
But I
want to
can
be
give you
Singapore.
the recent example.
Eh.
You remember the issue of fuel saga?
The 3 gentlemen who resigned, the PS,
Yes,
the EPRA fellow, and the
MD,
Kenya pipeline.
KPL,
Yes.
and the DG EPRA. Those are.
I think so many people are saying, wow.
They resigned.
They resigned, yes.
Now they even resigned before being arraigned. I don't know whether they've been arraigned in court today. I don't know, but they resigned. I agree.
Fred, can I ask you to just come this way?
Yeah.
Umeenda huku
Okay.
Umeacha kamera.
Kamera nimetoka. Niko hapa. I agree.
Yes.
I agree because I want to see a country where if you are just mentioned, there's allegation in the spirit of patriotism, accountability and transparency. You say, I have been mentioned in this scandal. I know I'm innocent, but let me step aside. If I'm found not guilty, I'll resume my job. I want to see such a country. Number 2, the issue with public office is that it has been tribalized. Today, you realize that a member or a senior officer is implicated in a scandal, he runs to the community. We are being targeted. We don't want to see that. We are Kenyans. When you steal, your community doesn't steal with you. You steal alone. So I agree with you, Anif and Boo, with that. We are yet to see such a scenario. But we have made progress. I want to encourage the president to fight corruption. He has demonstrated through this issue of EPRA.
But I'm sorry for cutting you short. We have so many cases of corruption.
I agree.
Day in, day out, we are losing millions, billions to corruption.
Yes.
So our watu watatu wa EPRA cannot be the representation of the government fighting
I know
corruption.
what you're saying. You read these things in the newspapers, right?
Yes.
Headline. You know the media sometimes get information, and then because the media is the kioo ya jamii, they put it on the headline and leave it there. But the investigative authorities must go and investigate. Their finding must reveal that for sure Anifa stole billions. Anifa was implicated in some fraud. Have we seen that happen? It has not happened. So it ends out that the media. I can give an example. I saw big headlines. Sha. I saw big headlines. I don't know, TSC pension. But these issues, they just sensational in the media. Why is it that we have never gone to the conclusion and found out for sure this allegation was put in the media, the DCI, the ODPP, they have found these guys and they have been arraigned in court. But my major issue that we must put out, Anifa, is the Auditor General report. The Constitution of Kenya in Article 226 says that it is only the audit report that shall reveal if public money has been used lawfully and efficiently. The audit report every time is given after every 6 months reveals a lot of fraud, a lot of it. And the day the audit report is used in court as the first piece of evidence, we shall jail all this. But you know why that is not happening? Because we have not empowered that office enough. We have not empowered the ODPP enough. We must empower as a people. We must ensure that we participate in budgeting. We the people, not me, you, and them, not the government. We are the government, and we go for public participation and say we want this law amended so that it gives these prosecutor powers, so that it allocate funds to DCI, ODPP to ensure that all these things are concluded. That way, if they fail, we can come and say we participated and they have never done what we did. But we shy away from public participation. We shy away because we say it will be done anyway. I want to encourage Kenyans, please, this country is ours, all of us. When the government fails, I can see people say, Kasongo may fail. If Kasongo has failed, you have failed. You live in this country. We all live in this country. When the government collapses, it collapses with all of us. I encourage all of us, please, let's do the little we can. I love these young people when they come out and give their voice. When there's nowadays, Anifa, if we are to have a finance bill, I'm sure the finance minister must be scratching his head, because this Gen Z, they don't joke. They put that thing on AI, and in minutes, they have read it, they have put it against the law, they have the loopholes, and they present a memorandum. Here it is. That is public participation. So I want to ask them to continue doing that in all spheres. If today the government says that we are going to build this road, the day it is launched, note it down and
I
start
think it's
counting.
already happening. I'm sure you're seeing.
And give report. Don't just keep quiet, because the government is our government. We are all in it, and you must remind each other of the thing to do, the correct thing to do. The President of the Republic of Kenya has got responsibility. He's the head of state and head of government.
Okay.
And he leads a government that has different people. All these people do things differently. He cannot supervise everyone. I know the responsibility lies with him, but it is important to support. There is what we call national values in Article 10.
Yes.
It says that we are patriotic. We encourage unity, participation of the people, sustainable development. It means the Kenyan people gave themselves an article in 10 that gives them an opportunity to participate in nation building. So we are all in this, Anifa. We are all in it. But I like what is happening, because Kenyans are raising issues, and these issues, the government has a responsibility to address them.
Right.
Yeah.
Another issue that I can raise directly with the president is on the issue of education.
Yes.
Grade 10 learners hawana textbooks za STEM. Grade 11 learners next year hawana textbooks zozote. It's like we have abandoned this education sector. This morning, the PS for education, that is PSB Talk, said that the government has disbursed 23.4 billion in advance, alafu kuna ingine itakuja
in preparation for the opening of schools.
Yes, yes, shule hata zimefunguliwa shule zimefunguliwa leo, zingine zitafunguliwa kesho.
Sure.
Now, Fred, if we look at that situation, yet we are told that on one side, State House is receiving 18 billion, to run their businesses. Yet students on one hand, hawana hata vitabu. Surely, where does our government put its priorities? Where does our president put the priorities of this country?
Moving. Who allocates budget funds?
Wanabunge kule.
Who elects the wanabunge?
Ni sisi wa Kenya.
What are the provisions that demand of the electorate to put pressure on the members of parliament to do the right thing? There's Article 104. There are many there. Sometimes we blame the government for mistakes that are not theirs. The members of parliament have a responsibility to the people.
State House went and demanded for this money.
They did not demand. It is the members of parliament, having looked at the requisition that came from State House, felt that this is convincing, and therefore it is important for the operations of this country through State House.
What is this?
This is what is important to do.
What is this government doing at State House that wasn't being done by previous governments?
Mbuvi, I'll be very honest with you. All successive governments have had their State House allocation increased almost every year.
It is okay.
They have done that.
90 billion for President.
Not Ruto only.
90 billion for President Uhuru, in his 10 years.
Yes.
And then 88, imebakisha 2 billion ifike 90 billion in 4 years.
Moving.
Yes.
So it is
sure,
the most expensive.
I am sure the furniture in your house is not the furniture you had 40 years ago.
Is
I
that
am
a
sure.
priority?
No.
Is it
I'm just giving you an example, Anifa. I am sure
yes,
some of the clothes you have today are not the ones you had 6 months ago. What I'm trying to say is,
you'd be shocked.
I'll not be shocked. I'll not be shocked.
Nikikuonesha my wardrobe today.
I know you from Kitambo, so I know there are things that have changed. But I am saying,
yes,
not to give not to give excuses, but I'm saying it is very expensive to run a government. It is equally expensive to run a government in an economy that is not doing well.
Schools, education
is a priority.
Of course.
It is a right in Article 43. It must be given priority. And that's why I want to ask Member of Parliament, every time you are appropriating funds, ensure that there are certain sectors that must capture the attention of the public through increased resources. Number one, education, health, education, health, and many others that are important I can't say now. So, I admit that there could be that the State House allocations are more. But the Auditor General report must also reveal what that money did. So that is a question for another day. But we must put the blame where it squarely falls. The members of parliament and the people who elected these members of parliament must put pressure to ensure that
is parliament independent?
Yes, it is. It should be independent.
So there are so many questions regarding that.
Yes.
That is why there's a huge mistrust between the state, our leaders, and the people, citizens.
You know, Anifa, parliament is a product of election. Election is an exercise by the people. When parliamentarians are elected, they take what is called oath of office or affirmation. They say, I, Frederick Okango, do solemnly swear that I will do my duty to the best of my knowledge and respect the Constitution, whatever. They do that. When you lift the Bible or Quran and say that, you are held accountable. So when a member of parliament changes tune, it is not the president who has made him. He has a duty to tell the president, I took oath of office, please, I'm not going to do this. He can tell anyone that I'm not going to do. He can tell the members who elect, I cannot do this. Why are they not telling them? Why are not? Let's put the blame where it squarely belongs. The members of parliament, majority of them have failed us. They have gone into parliament as a lucrative business. They are there to
I have
be
a
seen.
question again.
Ask me.
I understand. Let's buy into your argument about holding the members of parliament fully accountable.
Correct.
You're telling me this is a head of state
Yes.
that is seeing the state of hospitals and school and is very okay with the money being pumped into State House. An extra budget, by the way, for the DP office. We even have his wife office. So is it okay? Is it even possible, reasonable as a head of state? Nisawa, let's blame the MPs. But you're just going to sit there and watch education and healthcare sector burn down.
I believe President Ruto understands what education means. He understands what health means. And I don't think the president can just accept money pumped in State House and other sectors are suffering. No. He took oath of office to protect and defend the people. And I'm sure he's doing that. However, there are certain decisions that are made that require those funding. I am sure that money is not just put there to idle. No. And again, the allocations done to education and health must be commensurate to the demands of the public from there. Therefore, I must ask the members of parliament, when these allocations are done, what do they consider those budget lines? And if it is not enough, is there a way that they can improve that through supplementary budget? I believe so. So, Anifa, I admit that as a president, it is important to understand that, or to be sensitive, that if State House has more money allocated to it than health sector, it should bother him. And I'm sure it does. But the president cannot say, reject, do this. We have separation of powers. He will be accused of commanding and instructing. The members of parliament themselves must review. The public, through accountability measures, must raise issues. The media, I'm happy you're raising it now. You're a member of the media. Raise it. Put petitions and petition parliament to do the right thing. I say the parliament has failed us. Majority of those people in that parliament, they have failed the president. They have failed the opposition because they sit in those benches for optics.
But who are they working for? Because
They work
if
for the
they're not,
people of
they're
Kenya.
working for the president.
They don't work for the
and
president.
They're not working for the people.
No.
So who exactly are they working for?
They should work for the people. And if they're not working for the people, then they should tell us who they're working for. Because definitely, they are not elected to work for the president. They supplement executive work. They legislate, represent, and oversight the executive. They should tell us, in oversighting the executive, that there's more allocation to State House than health, than education. Have they told us so? No. They go and say, one term, Kasongo must go. That's what they sing. Those people singing one term Kasongo must go should come and tell people the alternative budget to State House, the alternative budget to health, the alternative budget to education. They have not told us. And those in government should do the same, because the system of governance that we have today does not recognize ruling party. It recognizes a member of parliament whose duty in Article 94, 96, 90 is to oversight the government, irrespective of which party took you to parliament. That is the role of member of parliament.
But it does recognize majority party. That's why we have majority leaders.
Yes.
And we have minority leaders.
Yes, but it doesn't recognize ruling party. No, it recognizes majority, those who form government.
Right.
Minority, those who are not forming government. I want to believe, and I've seen the working relationship between the minority leadership and majority leadership. Today, they can actually come to an agreement and say, this is wrong, this is right.
It's because they all work for broad-based.
Well, this broad-based movie, is it this bad? Is it a ghost?
It is actually. Let me be honest. It is very bad.
Why is it bad movie? Because it is broad.
It is
you want it
very
narrow?
bad.
No, because
Anifa,
no
you
one is
want it narrow?
working for the people. You know,
What do you mean?
everyone is working for their own interest.
Okay, is the opposition good?
Opposition
This
is
speaking as
failing.
myself.
Yeah.
No one,
Yeah.
even the opposition, the people in government now. As you've seen, majority of people and how they've expressed themselves. No one, even the opposition. If you want me to.
So
say
everyone
that.
is bad.
You're all failures.
You're all failures, Bana.
So if we're all failures, where do we go? And that's why you want people like Anifa move. You see, the media plays a critical role in this country. Wanasema media is kioo ya jamii. When some of these things you highlight them, you must be objective about them. I've seen a section of the media in this country that their headlines every day negative. Today, do you know movie?
Yes.
There's a Kenyan called Sebastian Sawe. Won London Marathon record in 2 hours.
Less than 2 hours.
Less than 2 hours. One of the media stations, they say, Linda Wananchi triumph entry to Kisumu. They didn't give recognition to the Kenyan. Look at that. And that's what I'm saying. Sometimes we are our own enemies. And I must congratulate some section of the media. They do a good job. Anifa has raised so many issues since I came here.
Right.
And they're genuine. They're genuine concerns. And not only Anifa, there's so many people out there who are raising these concerns. So I want to believe that the media has a critical role to play. And their role must also offer solutions.
As we come to the end of which we have actually come to the end, I will send you back to the broad-based government.
Send me back to,
Back
to Ruto.
This media that you love very much and you have really praised.
I love media.
Yeah.
I love
Please go remind the government that they owe that media house that you've just mentioned.
Which one is that?
The one that has got that headline. You owe it over 200 million. Mulipe watu waje kujinyonga huku kwa streets na zile media house zingine zote mnao pesa. Yes.
Mbuvi.
Yes.
It's not a laughing matter.
It isn't.
I have seen some members of the media who worked hard, toiled. They are owed a lot of money. Their kids are not going to school. Some of them, their families have disintegrated. Stress, depression, some have died. It is unfortunate. We must call it what it is. I want to believe that the government will prioritize where they owe the media. Please pay them so that some of these people can go back to their normal life.
Yes.
I admit.
And talk to your MP's friends because they also had a hand in it.
Yes.
Hiyo pesa ilikuwa inafaa kutoka ili media houses zilipwe. Personally, I have friends and colleagues who are in what you've mentioned, deep trouble for lack of a better word. I have lost 2 colleagues to death.
Very unfortunate.
Because of the depression of not being paid. So when you go back and you're talking to broad-based government and you're talking to Mheshimiwa Oburu and you're talking to
Power man, youth leader,
na unaongea na Mheshimiwa Rais wakumbushe
mimi na kuhakikishia
the reality on the ground.
Na kuhakikishia as a Kenyan who is objective and as a Kenyan who is patriotic, I will make it a duty whenever I come to this show, I be honest, transparent and accountable. And not only so, if you think that there's something that some of us, because of the nature of job we do, we can advance it, we shall advance it for the betterment of the people. I believe the president listens and watches this because I know he does that.
He better.
But it is important that Mr. President also takes some responsibility, and he has done so. President William Ruto is one of the leaders that I've seen take responsibility. He is listening, he knows this, and we want to encourage Mr. President. The media are saying that there are some of their colleagues that have suffered because they are owed. Please find it in your heart, Mr. President, to ensure that some of these families go back to their normal life. Let's pay where we need to pay. And also, those who took money that was meant for the media, the due course should take its course because we have them. Sure.
Okango, unataka kiti gani next year?
Mimi Wakenya wakisema vile Nifa anasema. Wakenya wakisema, lakini mimi naona wanasema hapa karibuni hapa. Hapa karibuni. Watasema.
Hanifa, parting shot as we say kwa heri. Parting shot, Hanifa.
I just want to say that Kenyans deserve better. We were just talking about the Russia-Ukraine war, and all the duty bearers have a responsibility to take care of Kenyans who are out there.
Outside, inside the country.
Yes, there are absolutely no excuses for that. Kenyans must be protected and cared for.
Yes.
All right.